Yeah, you're good. It's like I don't know what time it is here. Like 2:43 in the morning over here.
Three, yeah, it's almost 3 in the morning for you. So, hey, everybody, we are live.
Hello.
Uh, Hold on. Oh, wait, that's me. I always forget to do that. I always forget to mute my thing.
It's okay.
All right, yeah. So, yeah, we are live and had a first technical difficulty. And hey, wait, Michael, you here? Hey, we see you in here, but I don't hear you yet. Are you saying anything? Michael, you good? Or I think we hear you rustling around. Are you there? All right. Well, just start talking whenever you're ready, man. So, how's your night going, Flip?
Ma'am, I was just looking at something completely boring to some people, but I have taste, you know this. And I was looking at this guy's channel. Oh man, I hate that I can't tell you who it is, but anyway, he was watching in real time. He was actually I'm not sure, he was given a copyright strike from the Fair Use Act committee, I guess, at YouTube for putting this on. Now, this is really strange. He has located with his telescope what he believes. Now, this is very strange. What he believes is a red dwarf that is passing underneath Saturn at this very moment and causing the poles of Saturn to be discolored. I don't know if that's interesting to anyone else, but to me, that's awfully interesting.
That
So,
sounds freaking freaky, man. Damn, I mean, all the stuff that would affect is crazy.
I
So
mean,
a dwarf planet is doing that?
a red dwarf star, which is apparently dragging other planets in a spiral toward us. Now,
Wait. That would have to be in another solar system.
It's not. Now, I can give you the name of the channel. I just remembered. It's Higher Truth. So take with that what you will. But he was really creepy. It's like creepy to watch him. Like I watch some UFO channels every now and again. The only one I respect is Secure Team 10. But this particular guy, I was on my way to work tonight, and I ride in a truck on the way. I wasn't driving it, and I can just peruse the YouTube. But yeah, I thought that was really weird. Anyway, I thought, I'd tell you guys.
Wait, what? Did you cut out for a sec?
No, I'm here. Yeah, I
So
thought you were trying to get Michael.
Oh no, okay, yeah, I am. That's what I'm working on. So, Michael, if if your mic works or anything, just unmute yourself and start talking. It sounded like you're still getting yourself all set up, so just let us know whenever you're ready. We're gonna have another guest in here too, the Sith Kryptonian. So we'll have some nice flow up. He's just here right on time, right as I'm saying his name. What is up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yep, we got Sith Kryptonian, Obi-Wan Reviews, and Flipped Out in the house. Obi-Wan's working on some microphone stuff, having some trouble with the Force or something. I don't know.
It happens. It happens.
Yep. So since I got you here, Sith, or do you want to be called the Sith Kryptonian, or do you go by something else on YouTube?
Just Sith is fine. Sith is fine.
Fine. Kryptonian, for some reason, when I say Sith Kryptonian, it gets tongue-tied, and I go Sith Kryptonian.
Yeah, I'm noticing that, and I actually considered like changing my name to like Sith K or something for short. But
it sounds kick-ass, but it's like when saying it out loud, it's like
I guess as long as it reads good, I could just like say, "Hey, I'm Sith K."
Yeah, you're good. All right, so Michael, looks like you unmuted yourself. How's it going, man? If you're talking,
can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. Yeah. What's up? Yeah, keep talking.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
How you guys all going?
All right, perfect.
Right.
Awesome.
All right, wasn't sure. Flip and I were debating.
Yeah, I'm.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, no, the delay is huge, obviously, so this isn't working at all.
Oh, there's a huge delay. Yeah, so anybody that doesn't know, Obi-Wan Reviews is 16 hours time difference right now. We were wondering if you were if you might have been drunk, or if it was 5 p.m., if it was happy hour or something. Just we're just curious.
He's having breakfast.
Curvature of the Earth.
Okay.
The Earth
Yeah,
is
if
flat,
you guys are
like,
listening, the problem is that my computer is identifying my microphone as a speaker, so I can't have my headphones in at the same time. So it's a complete fail on my part.
Oh, that's not
sorry about
good. Oh,
It's
that's
okay,
all right.
man. I'm using my phone.
What if you unplug your
Unplug your headphones.
Yeah, your headphones.
Yeah, it might work if you unplug your headphones, but I'm not sure because sometimes it won't. Then you won't be able to hear us. But we'll see. Yeah, the first 10 minutes for most streams are technical difficulty. So thank you, Stony McInternet Douche and Super Divorce and Dog Sidious and everybody chilling because that's the first 10 minutes usually, and then we get.
I know that well. I know that pain well.
I tried to listen to your stream for a little bit. I had to skip over half an hour because hearing the technical difficulty was awful.
Oh, which one? My stream?
On the one that I jumped in later on, but it was in the beginning, and there was this stuff. I think you guys were trying to set up some things, and then everyone would try to talk, and somebody else would talk.
We're a bunch of like dysfunctional nerds who try to have a conversation online. It always goes that way.
That's all good. That's all good. We're trying to perfect the dysfunctional nerds to be functional nerds. Is our goal over here.
We'll see if it happens. It's all about finding the right balance because you don't want to be too regimented and you just want to have a fun time, but you can't at the same time we can't like talk over each other like what happened with my stream.
Right, exactly.
Schedule.
Yep. And hold on, I'm gonna address. So yeah, Hallmark Channel, Jeremy. No, you didn't miss much, dude. Sith Kryptonian. Are you aware of the Jeremy Army?
No.
So on the channel Geeks and Gamers.
Yeah. I saw that tweet. The Jer Army.
Basically, well, it's been a long going thing ever since Jeremy did his impression of a proper Jeremy speaks like this, because he would read the super chats like then he would say this, then he was like, I can read with a proper voice if I want, and then ever since then there's been like. There's 108 different Jeremy spinoffs.
I don't know, man. I feel like Geeks and Gamers is a fine way to refer to your fans.
Yeah, exactly. And I think so. Hallmark Jeremy. Last time Mirror Jeremy said that he was the general. Is that true? Yeah, and then so since you're here and while Obi-Wan's talking about his stuff, I mean, I'm going to have you on Tuesday, but I mean, heck, while we're here tonight, why don't you tell us a little bit about your channel?
Yeah, so I have a channel. Basically, I just talk about like mostly Star Wars, some DCEU, some random topics, but mostly Star Wars and like movie reviews.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Do you have any future goals for it?
Well, I had a goal to hit like 100 subscribers by New Year's, and I'm at like 96 right now. So it's going all right.
You're going to get to that tonight. You're going to get to 100 tonight. Everybody in the chat, subscribe to the Sith Kryptonian. I did not put his link in the chat, but I mean, if you open, I think if you type in Sith Kryptonian, I would imagine that your name would come up because that's a very unique name. But if not,
Rookie, is it the Sith Kryptonian or just Sith Kryptonian?
I think it's just Sith Kryptonian, but I'm not sure on the spelling. So if you want to clarify that for everybody.
I can link it in the chat, I think.
Okay, yep. If he leaves a link in the chat, then you guys can click on the little dot thing and then go to his channel straight from there.
Yeah.
Well, tell us more about your channel.
So, just one sec, sorry. Just want to find the link. All right, so I just sent the link in the chat. You guys can click and subscribe. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if we get 100, that'd be awesome.
So my channel, basically I started it pretty much like a lot of people. I was just like watching kind of the aftermath of The Last Jedi and kind of dealing with my own feelings about it. And I just felt like I had a lot of opinions I wanted to share, and it seemed like fun.
Yeah, that's pretty much how a lot of people pretty much got onto YouTube lately, honestly, and it's a very good topic point for everybody, and to get a good jump and boost. And I think there's always like you'd think even after Mahler would say something or Dishonored Wolf and World Class Bullshitters, EVS, you think, oh, there can't be anything else to say. Nope, there's still plenty.
Yeah, oh my God. I sat in a truck listening to Mahler give his, oh my God, what was it, 3 or 4 hours?
Oh, yeah.
Review. Yeah. Oh my God. Listened to it 2 or 3 times now.
He's great. He has a way with words, man.
Big time. I wish that I had Mahler's type of voice, honestly, just be able to talk about it like this, and then he can just give the information in such a way that it just rolls off very nicely and comes the same tone, not raising or lowering at all, like a consistent like level. Like I can't do that. My voice dips in and out within the same sentence sometimes.
Like, yeah, him and Razor Fist like are super articulate in that sense.
Big time. Big time. All right, I'm just going to address the chat real quick. So, yeah, what's up, Super Divorce? And Sony Make Internet Do, she says, so the guy whose name contains Sith in Star Wars it's a Star Wars avatar, talks about Star Wars. Color me shocked.
Yeah, man, I live to be a walking paradox, so...
Yeah, that's nice. Just thinking of the name Sith Kryptonian makes me think if they had like a Jedi on Krypton or some shit and had
that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Like I made my channel and like my main 2 passions, so to speak, were like Star Wars and the DCEU. So I wanted something to like kind of put a name to that. But it was actually my Twitter name first, and then when I made my channel in the summer, I just carried that over to my channel name.
Oh, nice. Well, I think that was a good move, man.
Oh, thanks. I don't know. Sometimes. Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
Oh, hey, Sith. I'm about to do a 10-episode review of the 10 Deadliest Sith, and I wanted to know who you think your favorite Sith is.
My favorite, who I think is the deadliest.
Deadliest, yeah.
Okay. I'd say it's a tie between a focused Darth Maul and a Darth Vader before he lost his limbs.
Ooh. You mean Anakin Vader?
Yeah, but he was dubbed Darth Vader before he got the suit.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Pretty good one.
Thanks. Thank you. What do you guys think?
Well, if Obi-Wan Reviews, if your mic is working real good, then why don't you give us yours?
Sorry about that. My son had pre-programmed my Google Home to say some weird shit at 3 a.m.
Really?
Yeah, he's asleep. It says something about world domination. Anyway. Okay.
No, so Obi-Wan, if you're talking in your mic right now, we don't hear you. We can't hear you at all, which that's probably what kind of sucks with some of the things, because sometimes you need the headphones in order to even like have the speaker work, which is kind of ridiculous. But if it's not working right now, I mean, I honestly don't know what else to do with it.
That's why I like to use a USB mic now, because that way I can just put the headphones in one port and then the mic in the USB port, and it's like 2 completely different like ports, I guess, two inputs, so it doesn't get like mixed up, if that makes sense. I have no idea about like computer stuff, so
that's all right.
I use a phone, so
so Obi-Wan Obi-Wan, if you want to use on your phone instead, that might work better, because sometimes the computer, because it has all the speakers and everything else, it doesn't always work. But if you can hear us right now, I would suggest that you use your phone, because I don't know, that just works better sometimes. Here, I'm gonna go to video in case you can't hear me real quick, so that he can see what I'm doing. So Obi-Wan, you're my only hope. Try to use your phone if you can't hear us right now. Try to use your phone to talk with and whatnot. So just doing that real quick. You guys got a glimpse.
Bro, can I say something?
On my posters. Yeah, go ahead.
That might be like the coolest setup I've seen.
Seriously, it's just my posters on my wall.
I know, but they're like, it's like just the right amount. You know what I'm saying? It's not like super extravagant with all these like figures or anything. And then you have like the samurai swords and Star Wars posters, and then you have whoever that babe is behind you.
Yeah, I don't even know. I think I assume someone from the Pussycat Dolls, but I don't remember because I'll tell everyone the story since we're here on it. Since they got brought up. So, quite a few years ago, like my brother used to still live in my house with me, and we had 2 loft beds, like not with ones under them, but just high up beds basically, and furniture that would take up the walls in the room. And then, we're just, when he left, we took the things down and I got smaller furniture. And then there's just a blank all over my wall. And it was just a void. And I would just look at it and go, man, this is depressing. So I was like, I'll just go on Amazon. What do people get? Posters, I guess? Okay. And I just bought like over a dozen posters. I picked all the coolest ones I could find.
I get it, man. That's hilarious.
That was literally how that worked.
That was a pretty safe guess as far as what goes on walls.
I mean, I didn't buy them all at once, but I mean, still, it was a little silly. But I'll take it off me
It's
now.
not silly,
But
no.
unless you guys want a better look at the babe. But I did. There was one that I bought, of course, that had like a half naked one. But then I was like, okay, I'm not 14, so
Yeah.
I mean, Jessica Alba was up there because she is fucking cute as hell. And then dude, I like this one up here because it's just a astronaut chilling on the moon with the beer, chilling at the Earth and shit.
Yeah, that's
My sister got me a bunch of knives and swords 2 years in a row for some reason. I don't know why. I never asked for swords. I think I asked for a machete one year, but she's like, "No, I'll just get you 3 swords and a bunch of pocket knives." And I was like, "Okay,
that's cool, man.
No problem." Yeah, appreciate that. But yeah, so Obi-Wan left the chat. I don't know what the technical.
Hey, Rookie, what was your deadliest Sith, man?
Oh, my deadliest Sith. Oh, so I got to think about those real quick. Well, here, did you give your answer, Flip, yet? Because I'm gonna message Obi-Wan real quick and see, and I'll message Angus to get him in here. And
excuse me. So, gosh, I guess it was 7-ish years ago. We didn't really have a sequel trilogy. We didn't really have anyone on the horizon. All we really had back then was the Clone Wars. And I was sitting there. I was a young father. Well, I like to think I'm still young, but
you're an old man, dude.
It's just a number, man. It's just a number.
It feels different, but yeah. So anyway, the Force Unleashed was about to come out, and there was a big hubbub about it, So I am gonna have to pick Star Killer or the clone of Star Killer. Can
I give you a hug?
Oh,
can I give you a hug, bro?
So many.
That should have been my answer. I'm so embarrassed right now. It's literally my icon.
You're awesome, man. I bought the book and read it before I got the video game, and I was like, oh my god, I found out while I was reading the book that George Lucas said it's canon. I was like, what?
Yeah, I lost my shit when they made it non-canon.
Oh yeah. I'm my heart, man. We've suffered too many broken hearts lately. And that was
his story, man. First of all, it was a cool character concept. But his story, dude, and how his family symbol became the crest of the rebellion.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you take that piece of storytelling away?
Yeah, I thought that in Rebels that they would address that. Like, how cool would that be? I love that it chose Star Killer, and then they fucking chose Star Killer as the name of the First Order base. I was like, what?
Well, you know where that name originally came from, right?
Yeah, the original name for Luke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, how cool is that? Like, I mean, I get why they didn't end up calling him Star Killer. I always kind of had a thought in the back of my mind that they would call a clone of Luke's hand Star Killer. Like, oh, well, maybe they'll go that route.
Like a evil Luke clone?
Yeah, they ended up calling him like Luke, like with a couple of U's.
Lou Star Killer.
Yeah, Lou
is Star Killer.
Like Liu Kang, like Luke
Cage.
That'd be kind of cool to see some Mortal Kombat characters wield some lightsabers. Why don't they do shit like that? Like have different characters from different franchises, like mix around abilities or weapons or something.
That would get too confusing.
Yeah, true. Like, I mean, for like video games, I mean, for
Oh yeah. They have that in Soul Calibur.
oh, I didn't know that. I never really got into that series.
Yeah, like there's a lot of fighting games that mix characters. Like Injustice
Well,
has the Ninja Turtles.
Before Injustice, Mortal Kombat had DC characters.
Dude, that was my
True.
favorite game for 2 years when I was younger.
Yeah, dude, me too. I like totally
Mortal
had
Kombat
Mortal
versus
Kombat.
DC.
Yeah, I had that shit. I still have it.
It's pretty good. That was one of their better crossover games for sure.
Dude, the story was actually good in a fighting game. Like,
Yeah, it was pretty good.
depending on the side you pick, you either fight Darkseid or Dark Khan as Raiden or Superman. And if you pick Superman, it's like Earth needs a champion. I don't know. It's just like it's a cool game.
No, you're right. I saw the hell out of that. Like I played it until I had every ending. Yeah. Raiden. The Raiden one was a trip.
Yeah.
Don't really remember the end of the Raiden one, but it had something to do with Superman. I remember.
Yep.
Yeah, they fight each other to see who fights. They're like the last boss before the final boss for each other.
Yeah, I
Sick.
think you're
Sick.
right.
Here, I'll get back. We'll get back to this in a second, and I'll talk about my Sith in a sec. I'm gonna address the chat real quick because we actually got people in here. I really didn't expect there to be more than 3 people.
I just tweeted out actually for people to come join. So
Oh, nice, sweet.
I don't know if that's why. I don't.
No, some of these are regulars so far, but I'll check in a sec. I'm just gonna go up a little bit. So Hallmark Channel Jeremy says, "Well, Obi-Wan had the high ground, so chop chop." And then Stony McInternet douche says, "Technology is gay." Yeah, sometimes definitely, especially with Obi-Wan and 3PO. And then the Lone Wolf Cub says that you have a stream harder. I don't know what he's talking about with that, but I might invite him in here too if this is just gonna be a chill night, just hanging out. Dog Sidious, and you guys want to come in here, really? I mean, I'll send you guys a link if you guys want to come in and chat with us. It's just a chill stream tonight, then while we figure this out. But then Dog Sidious says Darth Bane's force bomb was pretty nasty.
True.
He had a force bomb. I don't remember that. Darth Bane, was he in any of the games?
Well, Bane was like he was super important.
Was he in the Old Republic?
That's what I'm saying. Was he in one of those games?
He was in Old Republic. Like, God,
I don't remember.
He was part of the 2, right? Him and Critic.
I thought it was Malik and Revan.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean
or Kyrie. I don't remember whatever her name was.
I'm talking about the MMO one.
He might have been. I didn't play that one.
They had a bunch of Sith in that one.
Hell yeah! It's funny how a video game story can be more entertaining than a whole film.
Well, what we need is for him to come in and tell us what is the Darth Bane bomb.
Yeah, I don't know. Dog Sidious, if you want to come in here, let me know, and you can explain that. That'd be great. Then Hallmark Channel Jeremy says, "Nice girly pics." Yep, thanks, bro. And then 7-Star Production says, "Flip XR Kun needs to be on your list." Keldroma too.
I'm not sure who the second one is. I will relook at the
QEL. It's QEL Droma. I don't remember that one either.
It wasn't on my list, but I will check that out. Yeah.
Stony McInternet dude says he's 99. Nice. Mad stream. Yeah, Cub, I might invite you in here too. I know you're always up. Cub's in Germany, so he's got a 9-hour time difference. So it's like in the morning for him right now.
V gets Cub.
Yeah, what are you eating for breakfast? All right. Then Dog Sidious says Darth Sidious wins with unlimited power.
True. Yep. Not going to argue that.
Indeed. And Obi-Wan, is telling us that his microphone's not really working and his speaker thing's all being all jacked up. So we shall work on it. Definitely. If only we had a droid in here to fix it, that'd be cool. And then Dog Sidious says, "I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet at last." And Hallmark Jeremy says, "Okay, Sith Crip, I'm going to give you a shot."
Hey, thank you. I hope I do you proud.
Perfect. If you want to check your sub count, dude, you might be at 100 right now. Who knows?
All right, let me see.
All right.
Yeah, I just hit 100. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Right on. Congrats,
Sick.
man.
Yep, no problem. Celebrate, man. Hell yeah.
I'm glad.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys.
Glad to help.
Woohoo!
Yep, everybody in our chat groups, like we all, we try to get somebody else on here and we try to intermingle with our, with each other's subs and try to get people in the chat to sub with each other and, meet around. So it's not just us and all that. So it's, it's also about expanding in a way. Like this is the 9th episode of my podcast so far, and I mean, I like having a new person on each time. And usually, it'd be like an interview style thing, which is what I was going to do with Obi-Wan for this one. And I'll save the more of the interviewish stuff for you for Tuesday. But that's only like 20 minutes, and then we get into whatever shit.
That's usually how it goes. You can only plan so much for streams.
Yeah, I mean, in my head, I'm like, we're going to talk about this for like a half an hour, and then this for 20 minutes, and then it's like, no, we barely start, and then we're just talking about whatever the hell we want. And Flip will mention something about space, and then we got to talk about that for 20 minutes because it's cool. It's like, okay, all right. So what the hell am I doing now? Yet I'm like,
cool,
I'm into my computer. I'm like, what was I doing? Trying to.
You know what's really cool is how Sith Kryptonian comes on here and he reaches his goal, and that's what this is all about, guys. I feel like we're all in line to be the next at the top, and we're all like just hanging out together until we get there.
Yeah, man, it's all about like the journey and like who you spend it with. And I think it's great what you're doing because you're also forming like a community, of like small creators.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, that's kind of the goal in a way. I mean, I see it as like, I'm not a huge YouTuber. I've only got 230 subs right now, but it's like, just because of that, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I want to talk to people that have 10,000 subs or more, or 3 subs or less. Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's the people. And then, I mean, one person I had on, Princess Iruka, she doesn't have any content, but she's a cool chatter. So, and she's got ideas, and she wants to start content at some point, and trying to get her on. Hopefully, I got her a little sub head start. And
I mean, the people that I have this group I made called the Senate, and basically we're all like, we have like this group chat, we talk every day, and they join me on my Senate streams, and most of them don't make content. It's just all about people that you vibe with and you have a good time with. That's what's most important. And I guess with a channel like yours, it might actually work against you if you like would have adopted like an ego, like, oh no, you need to have like this many subscribers, you need to have this much of an influence for me to have you on my channel. And then you kind of lose something when you do that. You lose like the conversation, and the actual person you're talking to becomes just like a number and a means. And it just, people can see that, and it just comes off like disingenuous.
Yeah.
And you're right, but he's right, Rookie. It's also true that people can see it, that you're doing the opposite of that, and that's cool too.
100%.
I'm glad. I appreciate that, guys. I mean, this actually goes with the topic that I was going to bring up in tomorrow morning stream, or this afternoon for you guys. Or no, it's okay. It's after midnight for me too. So
it's tomorrow morning.
So this morning, I guess I'll say, in this afternoon for you guys. Anyway, I'm having the psychology nerd on, and I might get Nerdette's newsstand in here too for a little bit. And she posted a link on Twitter about a guy that just did a video today talking about he was talking about Ethan Van Sciver and how he left Comicsgate.
Thing, and I saw that.
But then he was like, "Oh, these little losers and shit," and he's like talking. At first I kind of liked what he was saying for a lot of the video, and then he's like, "Oh, look at these other YouTubers, these losers," and he's acting. He's like, "Oh, I got more subscribers than all of them." And it's like, dude, what the fuck does that matter?
So
what the hell does that matter?
It's funny because I was, even before like I started like really talking about Star Wars like publicly, I was really into Comicsgate because I genuinely felt like there's a real bias that needs to be addressed in the industry, and what they were doing at first was good. But eventually I feel like, especially with Ethan, he kind of got an ego, and then a lot of them, especially with the infighting, and I kind of saw the writing on the wall way back when Captain Cummings like had his fallout with Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of just became like, I don't know, it stopped being about comics, started being about like who's right
and money and
not just money, but like a lot of the issues that they have with like the SJW, I'll say, comic creators, they started becoming guilty of the same type of thing. I remember Ethan was like advocating for gatekeeping and just like the shit they'd say is just like, I'm like, you guys are just becoming hypocritical, and it stopped being about what it was supposed to be, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Right.
keep being about what it was originally.
Well, I mean, that's kind of why Ethan left, because he never wanted to claim that, you know, he is the keeper of the gate. He just had the biggest name and the biggest voice, and you know, people would say that he's not letting people onto his channel, but it's like it was just his channel. I mean, he would say constantly that it's not about. He can't control whether people are in it or not. It's just in his channel he can control that. Which, you know, he said that when he wants to sell people things to customers, and he for his show wants to let people know that you expect this type of quality. So I mean, it's a little different because they are selling products too. So
yeah, no, I meant he said that if they created like their own comic label at one point, he said that they should gatekeep.
Well, yeah, but he talks like that all the time, though, and then sometimes
I know
he'll go, "I'm just, you know, I was just playing."
I know what he meant. I know what he meant, but I just meant to say that as like it kind of was like the ground point of the infighting in a way. Yeah. And I feel like I like Ethan, and I'm just using him as an example because he just left Comicsgate.
Yeah,
but I feel like a lot of the people in Comicsgate aren't who we think they are, and they're not necessarily people that we want as part of the solution.
Right. Well, and
like they're too much part of the problem to be.
Yeah, a lot of them are just like they're just like the ideologues, but just like on the right wing.
True. Yep. Hey, Angus.
Howdy doody.
What's up, Angus?
What's up, sleepy boy?
Angus up to my channel earlier today, so I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, dude, no problem.
He's my. He's a Cinema Squad member. He is a veteran. He is an awesome dude. Yep.
I was on World Class Bullshitters earlier today, and it was amazing.
Awesome. I love those guys. They're hilarious.
Wish I could have heard that, Angus. I was at work with.
Dude, well, I'll give you a little taste. I'll give you all a little taste in case at one point we're talking, and I'm like, hey, well, you know, don't worry, and just so you know, we actually have President Kennedy here to talk about his favorite shampoo. And I'm like, oh, okay, and I'm like, I just woke up. Let me clear my throat. Crap. I use Head and Shoulders because there are bits of head.
That's horrible.
Pretty good one, dude. No, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's mean.
Yeah, you got to practice. You got to practice the like elongated ways, like that are unnatural for how you say a word. It's how you do Kennedy.
All you got to do is master like a Richard Nixon, and then you could just like debate yourself.
You gotta do. That'd be awesome. From Massachusetts.
I'm not a crook. I can't even do it. That was horrible.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, when I try to do Trump, like I can do little things where it's like little nuances where he's like very hard. You know, he does a cadence like that with his words. But besides like you are fake news, you know, I practice. That's how I practice the
fake news.
The cadence with my mouth. But I feel like it's hard stuff.
Trump is inconsistent the way he talks.
China.
It's hard to get him fully. You just say certain words he says, but he says each word differently. So here, actually, Angus, we're about to talk about that EVS stuff in a sec. But I'm going to address the chat real quick, though. So Toriel has joined us. What is up?
What's up, Toriel? She's awesome. Toriel's awesome.
You know, Toriel goes on like all of us in our community live streams, and she's more part of the Game of Thrones crowd, but comes in with the Star Wars stuff and everybody, and it's freaking awesome. And then we got Freaky Fast 48. I assume he's one of yours, Sith.
Freaky Fast.
Oh no, that might be from me from the Bullshitters. I told him like, hey, Rookie Critic. I'll be on there later tonight. Hopefully, if I don't fall asleep.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, sweet. So thanks for coming by, Freaky Fast. Yeah, I'm glad you gave a shout out, man. I didn't know you're gonna do that. I was gonna say something, but I was like, I mean, this is about you guys and about that stuff. So that's cool.
No, I shilled you. I even shilled that Kitty Galore with his stupid Cuckwindig cartoon book. I shilled that, and I read like 2 paragraphs, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "I'll send it to you, Jeff." And he's like, "I'll read it with coffee."
That's great, dude. Great.
So can I ask something that probably sounds stupid?
Dude, you're talking to us. Yeah, you can say whatever.
Okay. What is the Cinema Squad?
So the Cinema Squad was a just sort of random name that we kind of came up with. This was right before I thought of the Rookie Corner. With cinema, I mean, with my channel, I mostly do film, like film-related topics for the most part. I mean, whatever I'm talking about usually ties back to film in some way or another. And Black Angus talks about sometimes about film, about sports, about philosophy, and whatnot. And Jeff the Iron Wolf, the other member of it, he just talks about whatever the hell he wants for the most part. Which sometimes
from World Class Bullshitters.
Yeah, he's a frequent on there, and I met them in person too at the HorrorCon thing. And
awesome!
So he always does a video when he's in his truck, and he could talk about a movie, or he could talk about something that's going on in politics right now, or whatever the hell's on his mind. So the three of us just gather, kind of like World Class Bullshitters or the High Council, every now and then, and just chit chat about whatever. And then on my Rookie Corner thing, we more or less talk about film, but I mean, that's at least 50% of it usually, but I like talking about other things too, and depending on who's on, if you guys want to talk about other stuff, I mean, that's what we do. So,
awesome. That's awesome, guys.
But hey, Angus,
we're probably going to change the name. Go ahead, Flip.
Hey, Angus.
Yeah.
About what time it is, bro?
It is. I thought I overslept. Actually, like I saw the call. I kept trying to say like accept, and then I thought like, oh fuck, it's probably like an hour later, and I'm like, oh, it's only 3:20. Hot diggity.
Wait, it's 3:20 for you?
Yeah, what time zone are you in?
I'm in the East Coast.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh, sick. Yeah, I was gonna say like it's 3:20 for me too.
Yeah, us too. Me too. The only person that's earlier for is Rookie.
Yeah, it's only a little bit past midnight for me right now.
Bunch of raccoons in here.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, baby. I'm glad you guys are coming on. See, there's 12 people in the chat right now, and I'm assuming a lot of them are from the East and all that. So that's awesome, because this is about our average that we normally get. And it's, at 3 a.m. for you guys, midnight for me. That's great.
Hey, my East Coast.
What was that?
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, did you realize we have 2 Jeremys in the chat? We have Hallmark Channel Jeremy, and we have Cotton Candied Hair Jeremy.
I'm trying to go through the chat a little bit, but let me get through the chat and then let's continue real quick. So I don't want them to feel neglected. So
they should form a duo called Abrams.
Oh hell yes! Oh no, JJ. Oh, but that'd be a good one. That'd be clever at least. I'd like to see a clone Jeremy movie. That'd be great.
How about Jeremy Overlord?
Jeremy Overload Stain. So then we got Nicholas Glenn in here. I recognize him from the Doomcock chats a lot. I see him pop up quite a bit. He said he got done watching EVS's video on his channel and he understands where he's coming from. That's good, man, because we'll get right back to that in just a moment.
I want to talk more about that.
But and then the Lone Wolf Cub says it's after dark, Rookie Corner this time. For him, he's having breakfast, so that's good. I might invite him in here too, but I'm just gonna wait a little bit just because his room's a little echoey, and we'll have him in probably in a little bit here. And then Hallmark Channel Jeremy says it's a temporary name. In the near future, I'm going back to my original name, Shellback TLC. I would like to start making content someday. I have several different things I have interest in, though. Hey, well, then everybody in the chat, go subscribe to Hallmark Channel Jeremy, because he will have content at some point. As far as I know, he'll be the first channel of the Jeremys that will start making content that isn't the original Jeremy. As far as I know.
Just subbed. I'm his second subscriber.
All right.
Out of 108 of them, I will do that. I'm writing it down.
We're going to get you 10 subs tonight, Hallmark Channel Jeremy. Cotton Candy Jeremy, you got to give us some content of some kind, eating cotton candy. Yep, and then we got Nicholas Glenn again. How's everyone doing tonight? Doing good, man. We're all feeling pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how drunk are you guys? Are you guys sleeping off a hangover? That's good.
No.
Just fucking around.
I'm 20% and dropping.
Yeah, yep. I know you're running on a little low steams, and
Yeah.
and
I prefer Coke.
oh hell yeah, same here.
Diet Coke.
I'm Coke and Pepsi, man. I
Not
drink
Coke.
only drink alcohol every now and then.
Yeah.
I'm a rye kind of guy. I just go straight for the fuck up.
Nice.
Nice.
Hey man, at least you're trying, right? If you're gonna go for it, you gotta give it your all, no matter what it is, right? That's what they tell you
You gotta go balls deep.
every
Yep.
time.
I was really hoping to have Obi-Wan on here for that because I know he likes to drink and I know Angus drinks, and that would have been a fun conversation.
We should call this the AA corner.
The A corner, only on Saturday nights and Sunday mornings or some shit, right before you go to church.
I like that,
Sith. Make you feel like shit.
Yeah, you bastards. All right. Then
Hey, Angus, we gotta find out your deadliest Sith.
We'll get to him on that. We didn't even get to mine, did we? No, we'll do that and then go into the Comicsgate thing. But I gotta get through the chat real quick. And then Hallmark Channel says, "I've been a Star Wars fan since the beginning. Superhero cartoons, pop culture in general, cars and racing of all sorts. I'm also a veteran, so there's veteran type stuff as well. Well, I think your type of channel will be prospering, dude. Hell yeah, especially content like that." And then, Freaky says he's in the world-class chat, and Tariel says, "Hi, dog. Great stream, bro." I think Dog Sidious had a stream tonight as well. Sorry I missed that, man. I was at work, and Flip was at work and everything, and Angus was streaming all night, and Sith, I don't know what you're doing, but
I was watching the UFC.
UFC, oh, hell yeah. But yeah, Dog Sidious makes some good content, too, so give him a look. For sure. Tariel she's just learning how to live stream. I think she's only done a couple test ones, but I think she'll be getting the hang of it soon. So
yeah, subscribe to her, guys.
For all we know, she'll be joining us soon and some stuff. So that'd be cool to have a huge chatter come in to actually chit chat with the group.
That'd be great.
And then Lone Wolf Cub says, "First rule of Cinema Squad, number 1, talk about the Cinema Squad." We never really address it, actually, which is kind of funny. We just go, yep, we just we're there. And then cotton candy hair Jeremy, what's up? What's going on, guys? And it's 220 for Nicholas Glenn, 221 for cotton hair. We got to get more Jeremys in here. I want Mirror Jeremy and Hallmark Jeremy and cotton hair Jeremy to gather more of your brethren. We should have triple of you guys in here by next time. Big time.
If we get enough of them, we might even bring in the real one.
That would be kind of cool. We'll have a summon.
Jeremy Osteen.
We'll have a summoning.
We sacrifice 50 Jeremys to summon Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers.
Yes, that makes me think of Yu-Gi-Oh! I sacrifice cotton-candid hair Jeremy, and I fuse these Jeremys to summon Ultimate Jeremy.
I ate the heart of Hallmark Jeremy before he even had a channel. That's what I did for you.
That's perfect. Stony McInternet Juice says, "We need a channel named Dank Hill to send cocaine and sell cocaine accessories." I don't know what.
No comment.
I know a guy. What? Who said that?
The only accessories I know you need is a little razor to chop up the coke before you snort it in a $100 bill. What other accessories do you need unless you require like a hooker or something like Wolf of Wall Street?
Do you know from experience?
He's referring to King of the Hill.
No, I don't actually.
Oh, is it King of the Hill reference?
Good answer, Angus. Good answer.
That's good.
I've only smoked pot in college. I've never done hard shit.
Awesome.
Just never knew anyone to do it with.
I've never.
Sure.
I just don't feel like it's
come on
worth
over
it.
to Atlanta.
Yep, and Mark, I almost want to say the Mark Hamill Jeremy when I'm reading this. That's the Hallmark Channel Jeremy. He says that's what I'm saying. Making Hallmark Channel Jeremy was just for the chat for a little while. Well, that's good. I was gonna make one too. I was gonna make either Slut Jeremy or some shit, like hungover Jeremy. I don't know. I don't think I think those.
Jack Jeremy.
Yep, Jack and Jeremy, some shit.
I follow one on Twitter called Male Feminist Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy never sleeps, so you could do Sleeping Jeremy.
There's Jeremy's hat. I think I saw back in the day.
Oh yeah, that probably would be Jeremy's hair or Hairy Jeremy.
Oh my God, Jeremy's here.
Midget Jeremy. I don't know.
Shaved Jeremy.
Super Saiyan Jeremy. All right. So yeah, all right, I'm caught up with the chat. So the Sith question, the ultimate Sith thing, and then we'll get right into the comic skate talking, I guess.
Deadliest.
Deadliest. Oh, the deadliest. That doesn't that. I would say Nihilus, maybe, because doesn't he like suck up a whole planet of force energy and like kills everyone?
That's so weird you would say that because that's the picture. That's my thumbnail with Nihilus.
That's your thumbnail?
Yeah.
I thought it was an alien.
Yeah, it looks like an alien thing or a helmet.
No, I'm saying my thumbnail for my next video is.
Oh, okay. I was like your icon. I was thinking your icon right now. Okay, well, that makes sense. And then, so Angus, what's your top? What's your like number one deadliest Sith?
I don't know. I don't know a lot of the expanded universe, so I'm just gonna go with Talon because she's hot and I love Darth Maul skin. So I'm just go with that.
Is
she'll
hot.
seduce you, then kill you.
All
You
right.
guys know who he's talking about?
I know who he's referencing. She was
Twilight.
Wasn't that supposed to be one of the future enemies of Luke, but based on what they did with The Last Jedi, I mean, they don't want to tread anywhere near cool territory, but right?
She's in like expanded like comics. I'm not sure what time era. I'll look her up, but there's like her and Darth Crate and someone else that are like a trio of like Sith for this era.
I always thought she was weird because like she's a Twi'lek, but she has like Darth Maul's skin.
Yeah, because Darth Maul's skin isnnot normal; it's tattooed. Like Zabraks aren't born with the tattoos.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
But usually just the males, right?
as far as I know, yeah, like she was something new. But yeah, the fact that they made a Twi'lek, I was reading in my Star Wars Year to Year book, Ayla Secura was actually an expanded universe comic character, and I guess George saw her or something and just liked her enough to throw her into episode 2.
Cool.
I like
That's pretty cool.
Twi'leks.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very underused in the movies. But I'm gonna read one more chat and then let's talk about the comic skate thing. So Cotton Jeremy is what I'm just gonna call him. I'm tongue twisted tonight. I don't know why. I'm not even drunk. I sound like I am, but I'm not. Yeah. So he says I used to do coke back in the day. Even 10 grams to John Popper from the Blues Traveler to his hotel and Bonnaroo in TN. I don't know what place that is, but Tennessee. Tennessee, okay. And that was a long time ago, though. I just work and live like a normal old person right now. Well, that's all good. I was expecting with cotton candy hair, Jeremy, to be younger for some reason, but now that makes sense.
Maybe the cotton candy's kind of like maybe cotton candy's
I
code
think of
for
cotton
coke.
candy. No, you guys.
Yeah. So I was just saying maybe cotton candy's code for coke.
See, I think of like it when I think of cotton candy hair Jeremy.
Cotton candy, cocaine hair Jeremy. That'd be different.
Just call him Coke, Jeremy.
I like cocaine.
Was that your Chris Tucker? Just kidding.
No, it's the cokehead T-Rex that's like a big trend on Facebook.
Oh no, I didn't hear about that one. No.
I'll send you a link sometime.
Okay, so let's get into the thing. So with the EVS left the Comicsgate Live thing as well as technically Comicsgate. The way he described it sounded like he still believes in it, but he's not. He denounces being a representer of it and all the drama that comes with it. If somebody does something in it, they don't need to come to him. It's not his deal. That's basically how I see it. He's still kind of likes it, but he's not going to be held responsible for anything anyone else does in it. What do you guys think?
Well, I think that this has been coming for a long time. Like it just started breaking down like a few months ago. I think with like the whole Trump Force drama, I remember thinking like if this is enough to kind of like create infighting in like their cause or whatever, then I think everyone's in it for different reasons. And if that's the case, then you lost sight of the goal that brought them all together.
I think that's a good point. I think that was one of the main things too, is that it was like Comicsgate seemed to have an idea, and then there's so many people in it, and each one of them has their own interpretation of it. And every time, like, he does something that, you know, somebody else wants to make it more for Republicans, he just wants to make it for everybody. Or somebody like Vox Day says something like, "Oh, what about EVS and this and that?" And he just like, dude, he's just like, dude, I'm just doing my own thing. And like, "Oh, you're successful and you took money away from everyone else." And it's like, dude, I'm just talking, and I'm sorry if it talks over you. I'm not trying to. And like, "Oh, you're being bad to all these other little creators." And he's just like, to me, he's like over in his 40s. He's just trying to sell his book and, you know, just to have some fun. And it's like, and it sounded like, he sounded like he was in the same spot he described when he was at Marvel and DC. It's like, okay, this totally makes sense for him to branch out and do his own thing.
A lot of them became the ideologues they were trying to purge from comics.
Yeah. What do you guys think, Flip?
Oh, about Comicsgate?
Yeah.
I think Mark Waid is a bitch. That's about all I got to say.
Mic drop.
I love it.
You don't need to say any more. You're good.
Mic drop. Mic drop.
I'm gonna have to
you want to say more on that? You want to say more?
No, I think I'm good. Yeah, I mean, that pretty much does it all.
I pictured you standing in the corner with no light, like just completely dark, and then you say, "The bitch," drop the mic, and then just go back into the dark.
That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm like laying in bed. There's only one light on in the other corner, so yeah.
Angus, I wanted to hear your thoughts on this.
Okay, I think this is bad. I think this is a sign of maybe shit's imploding. I think him leaving Comicsgate because he was so avid about saving the name from Vox Day legally and not letting Comicsgate get tarnished. I think him leaving, quote unquote, is actually him giving up. I think it's fuel for the SJWs like Renfamous to say, "Oh, we're getting to it. We've made the biggest guy leave the figurehead post of Comicsgate." Regardless of whatever the truth is, it's the image.
I disagree.
You know what it is?
Yeah, I'm just worried this is fuel.
You know what it is? I think Black Angus has a point in a way, because like now they could say, "See, look, now even EVS understands that it was a hate group," and then suddenly, all of a sudden, it becomes validated that it's a hate group, and in the minds of like casual people, they're gonna be like, "Oh, it really was a hate group the whole time."
Well, so this is how I see it. I mean, I can see how that can be a thing, but the way I see it, based on what I've figured out or what I've taken from it over the last couple of months, you know, I still haven't even read a comic book yet, by the way. I've ordered some of their ones from the Indiegogos, but still haven't read a comic book. Still just, you know, only got into this because of the Star Wars thing. So from what I'm hearing about all this was that Comicsgate was applied from the other people, calling them that. Like, "Oh, you guys are so bad. You guys are Comicsgate and you're horrible."
Yeah, like Gamergate.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Well, okay, you can call us what you want, but we're just going to do good things." And then they, over time, started to shift the meaning of Comicsgate into something good. It's like, okay, if you want to be Comicsgate, you're just going to be, you know, freelance and, you know, just try to do it independently and crowdfund on social media and, you know, try to aim it for everybody for the most part. And then at some point, as many people, they're like, "Okay, I'm Comicsgate," but then excuse me, burp. Then they just were trying to, you know, make their own political things every now and then, and that would always get mixed up into the conversation with the comics. And so over these last few months, I mean, just everything that comes out, it seems like every other week there's a new thing. I mean, if we started with, you know, Robbie Rodriguez or with Vox Day or with Chuck Dixon or with, you know, just all these other things, there's always something. There's always fucking
you know. So now that you say it, Rookie, I think
real quick, I'm almost done. And then so the Comicsgate name, whether or not it means something good or bad, people have taken pieces of it apart, and now it's just been being drugged through the mud. Like Ethan's pulling. I feel like he's a horse, like pulling it, and it's just like, dude, like he didn't even want to have the freaking thing. Somebody just threw it on him. And he's just like, okay, or he sort of slipped under it a little, I don't know. And then he's just like, you know, okay, I'm defending it, and all this crap. And somebody else does something over here, and he's blamed. And he's just like, dude, I just want to do my own thing. Like,
I'm agreeing with you, Rookie. I agree with you. I think EVS is honestly, I think he's just tired of it. It's taken the fun out of his life.
Right. Yeah, I agree too. My whole point though is just saying that like he wanted to be an independent creator and maybe get some people that he thinks has talent and get their word out in a way. And then everyone else was interpreting it as, oh, if you don't let me on your show, then you're not letting me in, and therefore you're
Those
keeping
British
me out.
people.
And therefore yeah. I really wanted to. I don't know their names. I wanted to have them in my Comicsgate video. Have them say Ethan Van Sciver. I love the way they fucking talk.
No, the best part is when he was on High Council telling people about these people, and he's like, she just has this, menacing voice. He's like, just imagine, singing to a child to sleep. He's like, rock. Goodbye, baby, and stuff. And it's just, I fucking died, dude. It was hilarious.
But so like the whole thing, so with him leaving Comicsgate though, my point being, I think that that's not a loss because he's still Ethan Van Sciver and still on YouTube and still going to have his following. But it's like people were, it seemed like it was always like, with Thump or whatever Tim Lim is, I'm imagining him going, I'm going to try to get Ethan Van Sciver and all this shit on him. And it's just like, dude, and then there's everyone, like he says, he keeps on getting backstabbed left and right.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
I figured out what it is. I think that what Jeremy and I think to an extent Diversity in Comics understood that a lot of these other guys didn't was that the answer to the politics in comics right now is to be apolitical. But instead you have all these right-wing guys and creators coming in trying to impose like their politics into the books. Like you make a Trump Force book, but then you complain about all the politics in the regular comics, So I think along the way it became more of a political war, and people even on one side, people can have varying political beliefs. And I think that's what's manifesting with all the infighting and why people have certain expectations when people like Ethan Van Sciver just don't want any politics in the comic books. They just want to make good comic books.
That's what it was all originally about, was taking the politics out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for me, again, like for a film guy, I mean, like I said, I never read a comic. The only reason I got into it was because I was watching his Star Wars videos, and he would go, I'm just trying to make a little book here on the side and whatnot. And you guys like it? It's Cyberpunk. Made some of this, and he shows them his pictures, and he's like, there's going to be these hornets, and they take the skin off of people, and they use our blood and suck it out, and he's got salamandroid and shit. I was just like, okay,
cool.
Showing some images, and I'm like, okay, this looks pretty tight. Holy shit! And then he's like, okay, and you can only buy it now, and you can get cool T-shirts, and you can get these cool things. And I'm like, fuck. Okay, he's getting me into it a little bit. I'm kind of curious now. And then he'd have Mitch and Mike and Doug and everyone else on, and I'm like, okay, these are sounding kind of fucking cool too, and they look cool. And these guys are getting me into it. A non-comics person, which to me they weren't. Even though I knew that they're Republicans for the most part, I wasn't feeling that with their story that they're trying to tell.
Yeah, it wasn't about being Republican. It wasn't about being right wing or proving like that oh, these libtards are idiots. It was about just like, no, this is what comics should be. It shouldn't be either one way or the other. It should just be comics. It shouldn't be identity politics and like PC culture.
That's how all entertainment should be, honestly.
Yeah,
just leave the shit at home.
It's the outlet for all that stuff. It's the outlet for all the taboo stuff. It's the escape from our actual reality where everything is so politicized. But I don't know, it just got lost along the way. And it kind of became immature. Do you guys remember when Tim Lim showed up on his stream with like a transcript of what Ethan said?
God, I remember that so well. That was
like,
such,
oh my
God. I did not see that. What happened?
Basically, they were accusing Ethan of something, and then Ethan was like, no, this is what I meant. And then he was like, actually, I have a transcript right here, and you actually said this, and I was like, okay.
Well, no, it was he was commenting because he was asked a question about what he feels. Is Trump Force Comicsgate, and he was doing a live stream with his dad,
Oh, yeah,
And
that's right.
so they're
I love that stream.
they're just chilling and talking. He was one of the people asked a question with a super chat or something, and he was like, "Oh well, I mean, I don't really think so." And then he's like, "Oh, you specifically said this line right here that this is not Comicscape because blah, blah, blah." And it's just like, "Oh, dude, he's just doing a stream with his dad. Shut the fuck up," for quotes. I don't know. And then I do remember the following streams that would kind of get brought up each time, at least once, even for like a minute. And it's just like, dude, let it go. Like, you don't need to have his approval for it. You can just do it if you believe in it. Do it yourself, and you shouldn't rely on his voice denouncing or not. I mean, right? I mean, if it's something that's heard, it'll be heard. I mean, like again, 200 subscribers. One of my videos has 1,000 views.
Awesome.
Like, but that doesn't matter. It's just like, if somebody said, "Oh, don't watch that guy," that's not gonna.
Yeah, but at what point, Rookie, do you become pop culture? How many views does it take? How many views or likes or whatever? Once you
I don't
become
think it's
like a pop culture,
What do you mean that I become
phenom,
pop culture?
like
No,
once
what
you
do you
become
mean?
that, huh?
What do you mean?
Once you become that phenom,
You mean like once I got
once
people following me?
once you're officially like EVS, it's a pop culture phenomenon, world class bullshitters. They are, and they're here today, and we should enjoy them while they're there. But everyone will come out of the woodwork politically to, well, in this case, right wingers had an opportunity to, take control, or not control, but what's the word I'm looking for? Take
comics back.
to be assertive, yeah, and take comics back.
Or let their side be heard, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just it's a never-ending fight. In 10 years, all this political shit's going to be somewhere else. Who knows where?
True. I mean, at the pace it goes, I'd say in like 3 years or 2 years.
They had a perfect opportunity to capitalize on the dysfunction of like the mainstream creators, but instead they just kind of came off the same way, especially on social media.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it too. I mean, I do like what you said, Flip. I mean, that does make sense. I mean, for the most part, it's like let's just say it's always like the poor people overtake the rich, and then the poor become the rich, and then there's new poor, and then there's that cycle of or of control. Like, oh, these people have been enslaved, and then they get their freedom, and then they overrule the overlords, and then they end up at some point, maybe it starts out nice, and then at some point shit gets muddy, and then things start to go wrong again. And I don't know. I mean, I think in a way, like, no, I think I think you do have a point. Like, whether I notice or not, people might take what I say in the future more seriously than others. Others might not see the humor or something, or a joke, and then take that as fact and spearhead it. And then other people that don't watch the stuff hear this and just believe it. That's kind of a good point.
Well, the problem if you think about it, like, and I don't mean to interrupt, Sith. I'll give you the floor in a second, but like at some point, if all four of us hypothetically just continue doing this and become quite successful, that, and God willing, Lord willing, that we can do that. But the younger generation coming up, I've got so many subs that I go to their channel and check them out, and I'm like, and I don't have a lot, but out of those very few I have, they're kids. And I'm just like, oh my God, and if you really think about it, it won't be very long before they're lending their ear to you.
Yeah, we definitely have people on YouTube definitely have more of an influence on the younger generation than what normally is the case, like before the internet. But at the same time, what we can't do is kind of like make the mistake of like having such an overly safe, overly PC culture because of what you mentioned before. Like, what if something I say is taken out of context? What if something I say gets me into trouble? We at the same time, we can't be afraid of that either.
You can't. No.
Yeah, no matter what anybody says, it'll offend somebody.
Yeah.
We mentioned space earlier. Well, some people don't believe in space, or they don't believe in something about space. I don't know. So,
I'm a weirdo like that. I look out there all the time. I mean, how do you not look up and just be amazed?
The way I've had people describe it is like we're a fishbowl or something, and I'm just like, what the like the lamp, like the sun is a lamp or some shit. I'm just
It's
Well,
why I
we're
can't.
we are totally amoebas. Like, I don't mean to get off on that either, but like,
Yeah.
we don't understand what we're being. We don't get it. We just don't.
We're just
They're being. But
yeah.
anyway, like you guys were saying, I mean, these kids, they're listening to us, and what if, in 5-10 years, they're listening to another stream we're doing. We're all like, oh, ha ha ha, we've got a GoFundMe page for $10 million, and this is so great, and we end up quitting some little thing that we were doing, and they take it so seriously. I think that taking Ethan Van Sciver seriously is a mistake. I think what he's doing is, more than anything, is he's taking a step back and looking at what he loves versus what has become a chore for him.
This is what I don't get with Ethan, because like I have like friends like this too, who when they think about Ethan, they're like, oh, all he does is like complain, and he breaks like Rose Tico toys, and I'm just like, how do you not see like the humor and sarcasm in what he's doing?
I love his sarcasm. I love Northeast sarcasm.
I can't take him seriously.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be taken seriously. He just wants to have fun and talk about Star Wars.
He undressed freaking Alice, for God's sakes. Like, how can you take him seriously? Angus, you're a little quiet for a little bit. Did you want to cap it? Did you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really think it's a sign of defeat to some degree, and I think it's maybe EVS is like my biggest concern for EVS is I hope he's building his own war chest of money to fight like Renfimus or someone from just making some frivolous lawsuit against him to like slow him down. I hope he's really stockpiling the money he has from super chats and shit.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
where's someone like Renfimus going to get the money?
That's what I was about to say. How she really? I don't think she's a good example for a threat, dude.
Well, yeah,
She's going to use a public defender.
Like Renfimus, it's like, who is this chick? I looked into her Tumblr. She hasn't cosplayed for like 2 years, as far as I've found, and all she did was freaking the blue hair from Scott Pilgrim, which is a fun movie, but like, who the fuck wants to see that cosplay? Who goes to Comic Con like, man, I really want to see some Scott Pilgrim cosplay today? No, and she's kind of horse faced, and she's a libtard. Even if you're liberal, it's like she's crazy, and she's got a past where she's posing with a cutout of Reagan. She used to be in some conservative group in high school or something, and now she's flip-flopped because what's popular, and she said some like super homophobic shit, which she's from Texas. Like, okay, I get it. I'm from Oklahoma. Like, I know people that think this way. It makes sense for the area. I don't mean that pejoratively. I'm sure Flipped Out can testify, being from Georgia.
Good old Atlanta, yeah.
But yeah, like, she's gotten popular thanks to Ethan Van Sciver, and I think one problem that Youngbluth brought up in their Ricada Law that was of merit to me, looking at Comicsgate being a supporter, is that Comicsgate needs controversy to survive. At least that's how it seems so far, and I think that's not true. Truth. I think it's. I personally think it hasn't had enough time to be disproven true. Like, Comicsgate gets bigger with the controversy, and so I think Ethan has stoked the fires with people like Renfimus, even though he detests her. I think he stokes the fire to keep more controversy going, and maybe try to antagonize the Beast to like just say something out of line, to do something like Antifa with Tucker Carlson, and be attacking, and then they can use that for a false flag. Like, look, they heard us. Comicsgate is the way.
You know what it is? I don't think it's quite that. I think that you kind of can, like, as sure as like the sun's going to come up in the morning, someone like Renfimus is going to say something stupid that you can talk about. I don't think that. I do agree that Comicsgate has gotten big so far based on controversy, because it started off a controversy, but I don't think it needs controversy to grow or stay alive. In fact, I think that the sooner it moves away from needing controversy, the more legitimate it becomes.
I agree. I mean, that's almost like saying that Star Wars needs controversy to survive. If it was good, like how it was in the past.
It's unsustainable.
People like it for 40 years. With Comicsgate, I mean, if they make good comics and are good enough people and, you know, do stuff, I think that will be what that's what will get people in, not the controversy.
Yeah, you win hearts by pointing out what's controversial about, like, let's say the SJW comic creators, but then you don't act in the same way. The second you act in the same way and you start saying crazy controversial stuff, then if I'm like a casual fan, I'm just like, oh, you're no better. So obviously, whatever your cause is kind of like invalid in a way. I don't know.
No, I agree with that to a point, but I still remain firm in that stance. I think
No, keep going.
A weird writing on the wall or something for EVS to step out when he was so invested for months, and then just finally gives up, and it's like, what made you break, or who got dirt on you, or like, what's up, you know?
I see it like he was just pushing a cart that he didn't, and at some point he's like, why the fuck am I pushing this? Like, you know, when you're in something so deep for a while and then you ask, why am I here? And it's like, oh, well, this is what I'm doing. And they're telling him, well, this is why you're here, because of this and that. And it's like, well, no, this is why I'm here. And they're like, well, that's not what we think. And this is way before you, and you can't do this, but we expect you to do this. And he's like, well, dude, I'm just doing my thing. Like, just fuck off.
Devil's advocate.
Exactly.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second. Sorry, I flipped out. I'll let you finish in a second.
You're good. It's like when Ripley goes back to get the girl in Aliens. Which is like my favorite scene ever for a woman hero. Like, she goes back to get the girl. That shit was awesome.
Awesome.
It's like when she's gonna go back. If someone said, "Hey, well, don't forget, if you leave now, you're gonna be fine. You don't have to deal with anything anymore. Fuck that girl. She's fine," and she takes it. I mean,
yeah.
At the same time, it's like, you know, you've had enough of everything else, and you are gonna goddamn go through with what you're doing, and that for EVS is his wife and his children. So he's got this whole situation he can just drop and still keep everything else that he has going. Ultimately, this man cares about is, you know, I mean, anything any husband and father would care about, and that's income for your family, and of course your own mental health. You know, you want to have fun and be creative. That just seems like it was a camel's load on him to me.
Yeah, I agree with that to a point too, but I just want to play devil's advocate as far as him not wanting his responsibility. When you start a show called Comicsgate Live and you start inviting everybody from Comicsgate onto your show, it kind of sends like a mixed message, you know? Like, do you want this responsibility or not?
Well, I mean, that's the thing too. I mean, for him, it's just his show. For other people, it means more. But I mean, like with my thing, I'm just bringing on people that I kind of want to bring on. I mean, the only difference is, I mean, I don't want just anybody that I don't know just go, hey, can I just come on your thing? I mean, I kind of want just a little bit of pre-interaction before I let you on or something. Like, I don't just want to let anyone on. But, you know, for the most part, I'm pretty open to letting anyone on. I mean, Angus will tell you I'm the most optimistic, I suppose, with things. Like, I don't really state all my stances on everything. And just kind of open to anything in a way.
It's like when you buy a hooker and you want her to like it.
See, I want to know. I've never had a hooker.
You want her to love you.
I haven't been there yet.
Oh, you're missing out, rookie.
Yeah, I haven't been to a casino either. I was telling Flick that I know I'm missing out. I have a lot to. I'm 24. I have a lot to grow. When I know when I hit 30, I'll be doing a lot of crazy shit. So who knows what I'll be like around then? Like, oh, I didn't do all this stuff yet. I got to run down
the Cookie Critic series. I've never tried a hooker. Wee.
But I was gonna say two things. One, I think that if Twitter and social media were to be left out of this stuff, then I think it would be a lot smoother as far as there being less drama, because it would just be the YouTube videos. And I mean, people can spend whatever from that, but I mean, there wouldn't be Ren doing this and EVS saying that and blah, blah, blah on Twitter, and everybody can take things out of Twitter out of context. And it's just, I think that's a huge part of it. I'm noticing it's like, this bitch said this shit about me, and well, fuck you. I'm smarter than you, but I'm being humble. And everybody has this attitude like, I am a mature adult, but you are a fucking cow slut bitch, and blah blah blah. It's just, I don't know. What do you guys think about Twitter and social media being involved with some of this? I think it's a huge advocate. Anyway.
I'll let Sith go because he's the new star here today.
Okay, thank you. I think that you're right. I think that Twitter, especially with like the limited characters, and I think it encourages like crazy shit and like confrontation, because like that's the only way to attract like likes and follows, because people reply to the tweet more. I think that it's kind of like, it kind of stokes the flame. So I think you're onto something.
Hey Sith, is it like when you make a video, sometimes you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't say fuck, or maybe I should say fuck, and you're hoping secretly that it goes viral.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, should I make this joke? Is it even funny? Is it not? Am I too boring if I don't leave it in? Like, you start thinking about what's gonna attract attention, and you stop thinking about what you actually want to say.
It's true.
That's a good point. With me, I don't usually tend to think about it. I just try to say what rolls off the tongue. And I noticed I was listening to one of my own live streams the other day, and I said "fuck" at least 30 times. I didn't even realize that. I was like, usually when I'm in public, I'm pretty restrained on how I do it. I try to. I'm learning how to censor myself. Like EBS, like, what the, try to, block myself, but still get the feeling in my head like, oh, I just said it. But it's like. I don't know, but yeah, the conception that people will see of you, the few times they see you, I mean, is through social media, and they'll glance at your Twitter, look at all this stuff you're saying. Aren't you have a nice language over here? And I only have a Twitter just for communication, honestly. I mean, that's how I contacted most of you guys, is either on a YouTube comment or through Twitter. I mean, I hardly post anything. Sometimes I'll go, I guess I'll retweet that. Or one of you guys post something, I'll retweet that too. But I mean, it's not really a battleground to have my opinions. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Facebook. Go ahead, anybody. Yep.
Flip, were you going to say something?
I was gonna say, my Twitter is still pretty new. Although I started it last year, I didn't have one single follower until I started hanging out with Rookie and Angus.
Awesome.
Yeah, now you join the cool kids club,
right?
For me, Sith, I'm actually I don't know if you follow politics at all, but Elizabeth Warren, because she's from Oklahoma, she assumed she was Indian.
Yeah, I followed that.
Apparently was facilitated by her parents or her mom saying that they were Indian, which is probably just again, family assuming. I'm actually registered Cherokee in Oklahoma, and
awesome.
I shared a Facebook because I have a page for my channel on Facebook in a group that I try to share funny shit. I got canned for saying Indian giving, and they banned me for a week for hate speech. And I tried to plead. I'm like, I'm Indian, like. I'm sure black people say the N-word on Facebook and never get flagged for hate speech. I'm black. I don't even say that. This is a very appropriate context I was using it in, because a white guy stole my meme, and he said stole, and I'm like, you Indian giver, or something like that. And so I got banned, and so I started utilizing Twitter because of my association with Rookie, and I'm like, oh, he's on Twitter, and so and it's like, man, this is so much easier to market my stuff on Twitter than it is on Facebook. Facebook's so like my kids are on my images of my kids are in their Facebook photo albums and stuff, and through wife and family moments. Twitter is like limited characters and stuff, and like it's a format. You don't really share pictures long term on there, so I want to remain a bit anonymous, at least name wise. Just seeing the Umbrella guy and stuff, and that Natalie or Nancy girl, whatever, got doxxed by Ren. I like Twitter for that, because hopefully it'll help me maintain some anonymity.
Same, and definitely, I think with Twitter, it's great for promotion, like you said. Facebook is not, but Twitter is great for promotion, but it's horrible for conversation.
Oh yes,
yeah.
Unless you have DMs at least one-on-one, but
I don't know what's going on with Facebook too, because like I started a Facebook page to promote my videos, and a Facebook account to promote my videos, but because I guess I don't have an actual picture on there, it keeps locking me out like every 2 days, like saying we need to confirm your identity, and like I'd send I would selfie to myself to Facebook, and then they'd let me in. And then 2 days later, they'd have me do it again, and then again, and then again. And I wonder how much of that is like I don't know, maybe they have like an idea of my political stance, or they're just
No,
scared of trolls. I don't know what's going on.
You've been suckered.
I got zucked.
You're in the Zuck zone.
Oh shoot, I'm out.
That's good. That's good. Oh, yeah, I'm going to address the chat real quick, and then we can go back on. So I don't remember where I was. So sorry, guys, if I missed a few funny interactions in the chat. But the Cub said, "I don't believe in space. I'm sure we're in the Matrix." Oh, this is from a little bit ago. Okay,
Possible.
So maybe. Tony McInerney says, "Keep your head held high." Hallmark Jeremy says, "EVS is truth mixed with satire." I think that's a good way to describe him. Pretty much like, yeah, I'm honest, but then I'm also fucking with you. So
yeah,
that's good. And then Cotton Jeremy says, how much do you guys think EVS, Geeks and Gamers, and World Class Bullshitters and Dubecock make on super chats? I don't fucking know. They get super chats all the time. They live stream sometimes twice a day. I don't know.
And enough to make videos daily
and not have to work.
Good point. Good point. Well, this is work in a way. I mean, sometimes. Angus, I bet you're feeling it, being on that stream for 4 hours. You're on this one with me for a little while, and then we'll be on another one in another 8 hours.
No, I feel fine, actually. I had a nap. I work security, and I took my medication a bit too early or late, depending on how you look at it. And I was fucking passed out for like 2 or 3 hours. And luckily, there was no issues where it's like, "Hey, guard, why aren't you watching the gate?" You know. It's like Afghanistan, dude. There was a period in the winter where it's like, that they're kind of old school in Afghanistan. They're seasonal fighters. They like to fight in the summer, and then it gets too cold, and a lot of them wear sandals and stuff. And it got to a point where it was like so cold, you're conditioned to that climate, and it's fucking cold, and you got an open door tower that you're like, I don't care if they overrun the base. I'm fucking cold. I need to bundle up. Fuck it, shit. And nothing happens.
I had my dad. He had to serve in the military in Lebanon, where he grew up, and I remember he got in trouble, and they put him in jail for one night because he was supposed to be the watchdog, or the guy on watch, but he got so cold he decided to find sticks and he made a fire, and apparently that could give away your position, so they threw him in the cell for 24 hours.
Damn.
Hey, Sith. I'm half Lebanese, half Italian.
Really?
Well, all right. So
I thought you were gonna say half lesbian for a second.
That's what they all say.
I'm a lesbian, 100%. But yeah. Does your dad ask him if you get a chance? When you're like, hey, do you like tabbouleh?
Oh yeah, dude. I grew up on that. Come on.
Oh, that's awesome. Grain salad's the best,
bro.
My grandmother, she's straight from Lebanon, so it's like ate that too. Yeah.
Do you know where she's from Lebanon?
Well, no, and I can't really ask her. She's got Alzheimer's, and so
okay.
Yeah. But my dad, I might ask him. That's a good idea. Yeah. I'd never asked.
Flip,
it's from the Lebanese area.
Flip, follow me on Twitter. We'll talk more on DM.
I certainly will.
Awesome.
All right, sounds good. And then
but also, sorry, Rookie, I want to say, so you served, Black Angus?
Yeah, I was a medic in the Army for 4 years.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Happy Veterans Day.
Yeah, if he's on the World Class Bullshitters stream for a little bit, then they talk about that for quite a bit. World Class Bullshitters. The one that was on tonight.
Awesome.
Yep.
Hey, and then Angus, don't wear white.
Don't wear white.
Is that after Labor Day or Veterans Day? My bad.
I always wear black shirts anyway. I'm a fat kid.
All right. Well, I'm getting back to the chat, though, because before we get behind. So the art will be what determines the fate for Comicsgate, maybe? The art? Yeah. I mean, the comics, for the most part, and that's what it should come down to. That's not where all the controversy is. It's in the people and the tweets and all that shit. So that's what I think. And then Cub says Aliens was awesome. I keep on wanting to say Mark Hamill Jeremy, but because I've seen the Mark, then the Hall, and then Jeremy, and It's a Hallmark, Jeremy. Let me tell you about the times the original trilogy and even the prequels, the time before the dark times of the Kathleen Kennedy Empire. Indeed, man. And yeah, one of my favorite movies of all time, says Nicholas Glenn. And Stony McInternet douche. Let's see, one of his zingers. So again, EVS is a good dude. This shit with Nurkish confuses me, but he does a lot of good for the movement. But it doesn't need him. I'm sad to see him drop the label, but Comicsgate will be just fine.
What happened with Nurkish?
Nurkish, I'll sum it up real quick, but there's a couple of videos on it. So Nurkish left the Cash Grab comic that he was going to do with Cecil. Yeah. And him and Tim Lim was their artist. And yeah, Tim and Nurkish just left because I think there's quite a few different reasons as to why, but part of it was EVS disagreed with something with Nurkish's Discord. And that's a huge hot potato of a thing because people were misusing it, and then people were taking screenshots of it and threatening to dox him or something. And he's like, "Dude, I keep on getting tied to Comicsgate, and you're part of Comicsgate." And he's like, "Oh, I'm Comicsgate adjacent," and it was just a huge thing on there.
I'm so confused.
It's a confusing one. There's a lot of other streams the Umbrella guy does that helps explain it a lot better. Than I do. And then Cotton Candy Hair Jeremy says, one of the worst dreams I ever had was a dream that had aliens in it. Woke up into sweat. I was in the 7th grade. Well, that's something I wasn't going to expect from a Jeremy. I thought you were I thought you were just born a couple months ago.
Let me ask this. Who said that again?
That was the Cotton Candy Hair Jeremy.
Have any of you guys, oh wow, have any of you guys had an abduction dream? I did.
Not specifically, no. I thought like monsters and shit, or had to run away, but never an abduction. No.
I did. I had an abduction dream, which really freaked me out because I felt like it was right before I woke up, obviously, when a dream would be. But I woke up in this, like I'm being carried like a baby or something. And everything was foggy but bright, if that makes any sense. And I remember thinking, I'm going to jerk really fast to see who's carrying me. But I got this real impression that I shouldn't, like a very relaxing feeling, like Christmas morning feeling. Like, oh, everything is super awesome. And I was like, whoa, that's good. What's going on? Like, and it almost made me forget. And I looked up and I think I saw some like long fingers. And then I was like, screw that. And I jerked really fast and I woke up in my bed.
That's what she said.
I was waiting for you to do that. I noticed that in your last stream.
I tried to contain it, but I couldn't help myself.
It's adorable. I'm going to get to this. So the Hallmark Jeremy says, hey, can I come on your thing? Dude, hit me up on Twitter and I'll send you a link. So Hallmark Jeremy, my Twitter is just therookiecritic, just all lowercase, all one word. The Rookie Critic on Twitter, and I'll DM you and send you a link if you want to come in tonight or for the future or something. That'd be kind of fun. Well, this will be the first time we have an actual Jeremy speak, a different Jeremy speak. That'd be a record, I think. I don't know.
Hey, Hallmark Jeremy, that's what she said.
It'd be cool to get proper Jeremy in here because I think he was the first alternate account, the first of the babies.
I want Puerto Rican Jeremy.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't do an impression of him. The proper Jeremy is the easiest to do because of the way it is. I should read my super chats like proper Jeremy so I sound more intellectual. Toriel G says, I like the Cookie Critic. Thank you, Toriel G. And Hallmark Jeremy says, well, Stony McInternet douche, they said it first. And then Stony McInternet douche says, I know for sure I'm not a mature adult. I still laugh at fart jokes, but I know for damn sure that I'm less retarded than those other guys. Indeed. And Stony McInternet douche says, I swear like a sailor. It's just something I do. It's part of my speech patterns. I have no better way to emote. I feel you, dude. That's just sometimes rolled off the tongue these days. Big time. And Toriel likes Twitter. Everybody's been nice to her. That's because you probably don't say a bunch of, you don't say how you feel about stuff. So people don't attack you for it.
Well, she's so positive,
True. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the thing. Anytime we say something controversial, Angus, you've been feeling that sometimes. You say your thing and then somebody responds and something. I haven't done anything like that yet, so I haven't really experienced real trolling other than those
Oh
guys.
boy.
Other than those other guys.
Oh, you're talking about with
Good.
flipped out and stuff? Those are the same guys?
But yeah, but I was gonna say one of those guys I think was Slide Jones or something. And
Oh my
Yeah, I mean,
god.
what is weird about him
because he's connected to Sith, and I followed the Slide on it, and I realized I think he was on Sith's chat that I went into before, and it was kind of fun. It's just like, okay, nice,
dude. I don't know. I don't even know why he like is still sub to me, because me and him had like a whole crazy drama on Twitter because he just was being weird.
Yeah, he seems like a douche sometimes on Twitter, but it's like, no, I don't know. For some reason, it's kind of funny. And you know, I think he's doing a live stream. I think I told him if he wants to chat or something, he can. I mean, maybe he could come on to one of these ones. He seemed kind of funny.
Hey, I don't mind having him, but I'll tell the story of what happened, because I put out a video, and then I think he got into an argument with someone else on the thread that I put out promoting my video. And I just said, hey guys, can you not do this on the thread, on the tweet promoting my video? And they were like, oh, sure. And then he kept instigating it. And then he started making this like weird pedophile insinuation towards someone else. Like he'd post a picture of a little white girl, like, and he started making it about like race and stuff, whatever they were arguing about. So all I said to him was, because me and him were kind of tight at the time. All I said was, hey man, you said that you'd not do this on the tweet promoting my video. What's going on? Then he was like, I don't answer to you. So then it devolved into just basically me roasting him, and then him trying to answer me, and then we just blocked each other. It was really weird. It came out of left field.
Oh wow,
that sounds bad.
Yeah,
he hasn't done that type of thing. He was just more saying that Geeks and Gamers is shit and blah blah blah. And I don't know. It was just like, I mean, say what you want, but all right.
Yeah, if it was just that, it'd be fine.
yeah, it got weird. Like,
yeah, go ahead, Black.
yeah, like I've subbed his channel. He's got good content. He seems to be someone right in the middle of the fandom. It says fuck the fandom menace and fuck the SJWs. He seems like purely in the middle. Doesn't care for either side. But then you look at his Twitter, and it's just like he's clearly a leftist to some degree, and he shares a lot of like. I can see the difference between like his politics versus his like fandom, and that was fine. But we're in this culture now where it's like for both sides, if you're like right of center and you see left of center stuff, you just know to like not even waste your time, just block them or you know, don't follow them, because there won't be any dialogue. It'll just be, you know, hate back and forth. And so like he's one of those people that like instigates crap for some reason. Like he was like, oh, I just follow this channel talking about me to troll it, and it's like, that's fucking weird to, you know, maybe help me get to 1,000 subs someday and monetize, and you're just trolling me. And it's like what the hell does that mean?
Here's the thing. It's like you can, of course, you can disagree and like speak out against something, right? And you can, I don't really care where you stand politically, but just like when you make it like personal and you start attacking like specific people, especially like when like I say like, hey, can you not do this here? I don't care that he's doing it. I'm saying don't do this here. And then he just started attacking me because I mentioned that. It was just, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he had like something was going on in his life. Like I don't hate the guy, but
would you guys want to talk to him on a stream at some point? You know, see what's up, or no?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Sith can, but no, I know myself, and I'd just be best left alone.
It's more out of curiosity for me. Like I want to understand where that came from, because it was really weird. Because me and him were like on good terms, you know.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, I mean, yeah, just putting that out there too, in case, you know, so he doesn't think that we're just shitting on him. Just, you know.
Oh no.
But yeah, I feel you on that. Like I said, I wouldn't like that in my thread either. Honestly, I'd rather, you know, if he's gonna do that, don't do it in something that I mention other people in and have. Just no, don't. It's not worth
especially after I ask you, and then you're just like, okay, cool, and then you just continue.
Mm-hmm.
And all I said to him was, obviously I'm paraphrasing because this happened a long time ago, but all I said was like, hey, I thought you said that you wouldn't do this on the thread, and he was like something along the lines of like, oh, I don't answer to you, or something along those lines, and then that's just it started. I was like, okay.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
You know, Seth. Seth. I've found out in a real short time, at least in with YouTube and with Twitter. You know, sometimes you can definitely overstep your bounds, and I try to be very careful about that. I mean, I think most of us here do, and luckily, I ran into some good people here. Nobody's here seems to do that.
Yeah.
True. I mean, one of my main things that I try to do is, I mean, Angus knows this like full heartedly. Is like I just try to talk about the stuff that we want to talk about, and I kind of have fun with it and whatnot. You know, try not to. I mean, I'm okay with arguments and having debates and stuff, but I mean, for the most part, just not trying to insult people in a way. But I mean, sometimes it comes off that way, even if people aren't insulting.
You know what it is? It's you just got to be around like-minded people with like a sense of humor, and then that way you feel more open to talk. And like, I don't know, I just feel like, I don't know if you guys notice this, but I feel like a lot of the people that I'm kind of like clicking with, whether it comes with my good friends in the Senate, it's kind of the group we're in.
You say the
Senate, yeah, and then you guys too. Like, I feel like we're all kind of very moderate, and I don't know if that's kind of a result of like everything being so polarized. I don't know. Do you guys find that most people that you click with online are like politically close to the center?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
do.
mean,
most part.
the path of logic does not pick a side, really. You know, it's like science.
Yeah.
There was a great argument I saw. I was watching some like SJWs wrecked and stuff, and there was some SJW that was trying to like talk down to a professor that was
Oh
like
God.
answering like a panel of people, and it's like, oh, how do you, 98% of scientists agree about global warming, and she's like, well, first of all, like it's not a sign of intelligence to insult someone, especially like someone of uh, literary merit or whatever for whatever position, skill in science. She's like, well, consensus doesn't mean the truth. It's like science is not a consensus. Like it's not a democracy. She's like, there was a consensus across the world that the Earth was flat, and then Galileo was the one guy that said no, and everyone hated him for it. But he was right, So like she was a perfect example of like this argument of like consensus in science is not valid, and she just like would not listen to logic, and that's not what most people do. If you have a belief and then you're confronted with like reasonable logic, you cater your reasoning to that. That's what most people are, whether they think they're left or they think they're right. Most people are somewhere in the center. I think there's a big spectrum of center, but yeah, I think most people are reasonable, and Twitter and CNN and stuff, all the fake news does not reflect the real thoughts of real Americans or just, real humans across the world.
100%. And to even go further with the science example, even like hard science is still universally looked at in the scientific community as just like a theory. Like literally in science, nothing is 100% fact. There's either strong evidence behind it or not.
Right, or it's proven right until it's proven wrong.
So even if so even if there's a consensus, it's just a consensus that okay, the evidence is pointing to this. That's all the consensus is.
Yeah, I was going to say too, this whole conversation brings up something that I was just watching earlier today, actually. You guys know the YouTuber Jacqueline Glenn?
No.
Yeah, she does technically more atheist-ish videos, but I kind of like her humor, the way that she does them. And she did one about social justice warriors versus social justice warriors, which was, if you don't know what that is, technically, she was saying like she does not consider herself a social justice warrior at all. But people would call her that as soon as she'd say something like, you don't, like guys don't need to rape girls or something. Just something vague along those lines. Or she's like, no, you should, and girls should have the option to abort. And like, oh, you're being a social justice warrior. And she's like, well, what the like? And she seems like all these people that are offended, which are social justice warriors, people that you say something like that instantly jump on you and are offended that you are trying to defend something. And it's like, those are almost social justice warriors.
Well,
like,
yeah, that's what
people that have been anti-social justice warriors have become a warrior in their own way. Just the people that are easily offended. Oh, I can't believe this thing, which is kind of makes me think about, I think in a way, I think that the Miss Marvel thing got a little bit more over exaggerated than it needed to be. Like
I would agree.
I think it's still dumb, but I don't. It's not like a huge SJW event. It's like, I mean, I don't know. It might be, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
You want to talk about being centered? My daughter goes to a highly liberal school here. It's an all-girls school. She is a college student with a full, she's been given, God, what am I can't, it's so late I can't think straight. She's been given all the money she
The blue
needs.
pill?
Yeah. Well, she's been given all the money she needs to go. Why can't I think of that word? Anyway, but between me, who I lean more right, but I like to think I'm more centered because I'm pro legalization. And I am, that's pretty much as left as I go.
Do you want to know how you determine kind of like where you are?
Sure, let's hear.
Essentially, the spectrum comes down to, and I got a C in this class, so don't take my word for it, but it comes down to like either you believe the government should have a bigger role in your everyday life, or you believe the government should have a smaller role.
Smaller role.
Yeah, so you lean more conservative.
My grandpa told me that when you're young, you're usually Democrat, and then when you get older, you become Republican.
Yeah, when you have to pay bills.
Yeah, when you start realizing the debt that all these emotionally gratifying programs cost you, the taxpayer, then you're like, oh, I don't want to pay for everyone else.
Absolutely.
Right.
I think I interrupted Flip, so Flip, if you want to continue. Sorry, man.
Oh, no, you're good. I was just saying that her and I mean, it's my daughter. She's 19. I love her like I would give my life, and whatever her views are, the best part about her is that she is strong in her views. But I do get to see a really calm, non-confrontational view of that side that isn't particularly SJW or anything like that. And I actually tend to argue in such a way that she's hearing me. I think it's going to take a while, but
like you have a conversation, and it's a like a normal conversation in a way.
Normal conversation, and she gets it. She's starting to get it more and more. But I would like to think that her and I have a middle ground, like you guys are saying, like being centered. When we have those conversations, I can't imagine being anything less than what I would be calling center right then.
Yeah, no, I think that Jordan Peterson said that like always assume someone you're talking to has like something you can learn or know something you don't.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Oh, Flip, I was going to say your daughter, she's in an echo chamber, so once she's out of a saturated environment, see, that's what's great being like ex-military is that like I'm from Oklahoma, I was from a small town, and I was kind of isolated by my mom, and that goes not just like physically isolated from like doing a lot of stuff, but thought, you're kind of stuck with like, even though we were Catholic in a Baptist area, we were still all like conservatives and stuff, and you're not challenged with having to argue other points or anything because you all agree. It's why if you're religious, you don't send your kid to that same religion school because you never challenge them to defend themselves. And that was something great for me as I was Catholic in a Baptist state, and everyone thought we worshiped Mary and all these other misconceptions, and so I'd have to always fight this.
Are you?
That was
confirmed?
good, Yeah, I was confirmed. I'm an atheist now from what I see as reason, but I still appreciate the church and all that and religion. I agree with Peterson when he argues with Sam Harris in that regard, where it's like he's missing the utility of religion or something like religion.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you're out of that echo chamber, you have to start facing other ideas. Then you start becoming more rounded ideas, and it's like like for instance, I'm a pro-lifer even though I'm an atheist. And it's because I learned secular arguments about it. But I understand, and politically, I can give some leeway in the case of like of rape and incest, whatever. Before you're taught like a staunch belief. It's this way, and there's no way, and there's no thinking about it. And so,
Rigid.
you get out and you can start to see like, all right, there is some sort of exception, maternal death at stake, things like this with that instance. So yeah, once your target's out of like everyone having this NPC diversity is our strength agenda that's, hampered into everyone's mind, and they have to actually have different thoughts in different situations, then you might have better conversations with her. So keep that in mind.
That's the
Yeah,
problem with sorry, Flip. That's the problem with colleges. You make an interesting point because college is supposed to teach you how to think, but instead they're telling kids what to think. So when they're exposed to like a different viewpoint, all of a sudden they're so shocked and appalled by it that they kind of view them almost as if like they're the enemy, which is kind of how you see like all these SJWs and like NPCs and these like socialists coming out of college and like going into the world, and all of a sudden to them it looks like there's all these like evil people with horrible views around. And yeah, I think that like when I don't know if you guys watch Steven Crowder, like you could see it when he does his Change My Mind like on college campuses. They
Who
like,
doesn't watch that?
I know,
I
it's so
know
good.
he's so smart.
I
Never
know.
heard of him.
You should check him
I'll
out.
have to-
He makes good he makes good content.
That's good. We'll flip it. You respond, and I have something to say after, but you go.
Oh, just real quick. I think you guys are hitting the nail on the head. Yeah, absolutely. And I love Louder with Crowder. Yeah.
It's awesome.
That's good. That's good. What was I going to say? So with the education thing, so so in college, what specifically do people? Because I'm in college right now, but
Same.
I don't. I was going to
Unfortunately.
say I don't see people that that I interact with behave the same way I've seen represented on the internet or through social media or through entertainment. Everybody around me seems mostly normal. I mean, as far as conversations go, I could say something and nobody flips their shit. We can talk, and everybody seems fine. Nobody's, people can have their beliefs challenged and they're not crying.
Can I answer that?
For the most part? Yeah, go ahead. I'm opening this up for you guys because I'm just saying my college experience so far. I don't understand where the consensus of them telling you what to believe, where that comes into play. Does it just depend on the class? Because
What's your major?
right now it was in business, but I switched that to general ed so that I can go to a 4-year if I wanted, because with the business degree it wouldn't let me. But go ahead.
Okay, so like I'm in the humanities, right? So Jordan Peterson is 100% right when he talks about it. It's mostly taken hold of the humanities, because I've had classes where, and it's mostly from the professors. I've had classes where, like, for example, it was a political science class, and my professor was making this speech, right? Like, first of all, she started the class with pictures of Trump and Colin Kaepernick, and then she started asking the class, like, why don't we have free healthcare for people like age 35 in this country? And she said it in a way like as if like there was no answer. So I just raised my hand and I started answering. I was just like, okay, well, because she talked about Canada, and I was like, okay, well, for example, in Canada, it's not working as well as you think because blah blah. The wait time, sometimes you wait three to 4 years to get assigned a doctor, and then in this country, nobody has suggested any way we can apply it. And she interrupted me, right? And she said, "Stop, that's controversial." And I was just like, "You asked." And I know that if I'd raised my hand and I was like, "Yeah, it's a shame we don't have free healthcare, free college, free this, free that," she would have agreed with me. She wouldn't have interrupted me. And I've actually had a professor openly advocate monarchy after railing about Trump and telling us basically who to vote for in the midterms. So what I think it is, I think it's humanities students, and I think that a lot of it comes from what the professors are pushing. So if you're just talking to someone like in the cafeteria or in like a math classes, like I find that they're normal, like you're talking about. But I find like 2 or 3 people in every humanities class I have that have these radical views.
What's the point of humanities class? Just to clarify.
Humanities is it's a department, so like political science, but outside of political science, there's like gender studies is classified as humanities and like stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
It's basically like social science.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My daughter gets some of that information from her literature professor and also her history professor.
Yep, those are in the humanities too. At least in
Okay.
my school, the history department's in the humanities.
It just the way it comes off, the way you guys are describing is as if it's from. It's just like, okay, so this is our class, but I'm just going to hold off on that real quick and tell you what I think. It's
No,
like
100%.
everyday speech. That's what it sounds like. This isn't part of the required teaching, is it?
And
Yeah, like
every and
the problem is they don't play devil's advocate. And, you know, like I didn't
Mhm.
realize this because I wasn't aware of like the culture problem with film and stuff. You know, 'cause that's my main interest. But I had this teacher that like was repeatedly showing stuff like the I can't remember what channel it is on YouTube, but it's like diet racist cola. And like the end of it, it's like official sponsor of the Washington Redskins, and I'm like, oh my god, you damn white people, because it's always white people doing this. You know, I'm from an Indian nation, like we call ourselves Indians, okay? Uh, None of the Indian nations across America care about the Redskins. They don't like them because they root for other teams. Because most
yeah,
of Indians are in the plains, so they root
bigger
for the
fish to fry.
Cowboys or the Vikings or something. You know, um, I'm a Philly fan, so I hate the Redskins on that part. But I see Redskins people, I'm like, dude, I hope your name never changes. And that's me being an Indian, because as opposed to other like quote unquote slurs, Redskin is something of merit, of worth, and of worthy opposition, where it's like, man, we fought the savages, we fought the Redskins or whatever. You know, it's endearing, as opposed to like the N word, where it's only one connotation. So it gets crazy when you have teachers that tell you this one side, instead of, you know, like, oh well, you know, Hitler was right about some stuff. You know, they never play that. They always got a virtue signal with
Do you
whatever
know? Do
subject
you
they're
know?
teaching.
Do you know what that's actually more dangerous? Because if you can't teach kids to identify that there's some things evil people are right about, and then that's the trick. Like, so with Hitler, for example, he was he was a horrible person and he did horrible things, but he was incredibly effective in what he set out to do. And I think that's something that people need to learn so we don't repeat the same mistakes.
I think it's a good point. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of his ideas are what we got. I mean, wasn't it a lot of Nazi scientists that helped us get to the moon? And
Exactly.
even though he's bad, I mean, a lot of his side goals of like technology and the future were kind of what we held to. A lot of people would say, "Oh, they compare people to Hitler in so many ways, to where it's like if you drink water, you're Hitler because he drank water too, or some
Yeah,
shit." It's like,
the same people that are like talking against fascism have the most authoritarian leanings. It's because they're not taught that that people don't take away rights because they're just blatantly evil or racist. It comes like they make themselves out to be like they're doing the right thing, and I think a lot of those people just want to be in the crowd that, like, the right side of history, they say all the time, like like on the SJWs at least. I guarantee you there was a lot of uh, Germans that were like, "Oh, if you join the Nazi parties, you'll be on the right side of history," because none of them are thinking critically, and they're not being taught to think critically. I think that's more dangerous than anything.
yeah, well, I use this example frequently where they'll tell you, "I'm a nice person. I'm a nice person. I'm a nice person," while punching you in the face repeatedly.
You don't have empathy. You don't have empathy. You should get hit over the head with the doorknob because you're racist.
Right. Which so I don't
That's a
know.
Nazi.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. When it's like, and what defines a Nazi? Nobody seems to know. They just go, well, you think like this, so I'm going to punch you.
Well, that's
It's
the
like,
problem, though. Is like the more you throw around that name, it starts to lose its meaning, and then actual like racist Nazis or someone who would be more accurately described as a Nazi suddenly becomes legitimized because, like, oh, if they're calling that person Nazi, they just say that about everyone.
Oh,
It's
dude,
yeah,
kind of like,
you just made me think. Okay, so from the beginning, I've been a very big proponent, or I guess opponent, against Me Too, because I saw what it was doing. I don't know everything about it, but like my mom is a rape victim from family members as a kid, and I had a girlfriend in high school. She was a rape victim,
mhm.
and I saw this movement as equating the arbitrary ruling of harassment, which, you know, you can consider anything harassing you. There's no definition to harassment in the Me Too era, and they treat that on the same level as, you know, the worst stuff and stuff, and it's like, and you see the same thing with the aggressors, where they equate a rapist with a cat call, and it's like, um, you're talking about like not being able to define what a Nazi is anymore, and it's like it's part of like the problem with this side of the aisle or of thought, is that they're trying to get rid of any identifiers, and it's just we're all homogenous. You know, diversity is our strength until we're all blended and we're all the same. And
You
then
know what
like,
it
what's
is?
special about you?
They're trying to stop. It's like trying to. It's like some beings on Earth can't breathe oxygen, so therefore we have to remove all oxygen from Earth. That's their logic.
Right. Well, for now, well, also I think too, just keeping on the subject still, I think that a lot of people aren't aware of what they actually mean half the time, the SJWs, because at first I thought they, were shouting they want more diversity around and like video and entertainment and whatnot, and I agreed, and I was like, yeah, sure, yeah, sure. And as soon as somebody started telling me what a social justice warrior was, I'm like, well, I'm not anywhere near any of that, honestly. And then they're like, oh, well, this side does this. And I'm just, always from the center looking at that. And I don't know, I wasn't even raised that way. You guys go. I'll bring something up in a second, but you guys continue.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll let Seth go.
Yeah, I mean, like, with the whole Me Too thing, like, I feel like in a lot of ways it's like Comicsgate. Like, it started off good, and it did good at first, and it was well intentioned. It was addressing like an actual problem, but then you had a bunch of people, like these social activists, like jumping on it for their social justice points, and then the most radical of them attaching themselves to it, and then it became like a witch hunt because of like the figureheads that latch themselves onto it, and it stopped being about stopping an actual issue, and it became like this whole commentary on the evils of white powerful men in this country, which was completely beside the point, because color had nothing to do with it, and had everything to do with people in power abusing that power, and had nothing to do with the men specifically, because there were a lot of male victims too. So
yeah, well, and I feel like too, going with that too, it's like it's gone to a point where people are like, well, white people are this and men just do this and they're horrible, and it's like, why are you blaming me for what I can't control? As far as you're just judging based on the skin color and gender, and
it's racist.
That's it's literally being racist, calling everyone racist and saying,
well, he's an oppressor, so I can't be racist because I'm oppressed by him. And it's like, what kind of logic is that?
So
hate is hate.
Well, it's like, what did I do to you? What happened to the people that complain? When were they in a cage? I'm sorry. It's like some of that. And Flip, you've been a little quiet lately. If you want to jump in too, you're good. I was worried if you're falling asleep, but I know you're in your bed, so I know if you dozed off at some point.
Good. Yeah, I'm up, man. No problem.
Okay.
Like, I was thinking about something I saw in Wrecked Media the other day. Angus, it's so crazy that you watch that too. But this feminist said that she was drowning, sorry, and this man came in and picked her up out of the water, and in doing so touched her breast, and she claimed she was being raped.
Oh no.
Could not
Oh my
fucking
god. Oh my god.
No.
You can't even save someone's life.
And then they'll complain like if someone doesn't act. So like,
it's
you're
like
damned
the
if you do, you're damned
Incredibles.
if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember on The Incredibles, he saves that guy's life, and then everyone in town sues him for
he saves the train.
them.
He saves the train, and they're like, "No, fuck you!" And it's like, dude,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's insurance. Yeah, he works in the same insurance company. That was great.
I was about to say, do you guys want to switch the subject to something else now?
Yeah, I'm down. Sure.
We can bring it back to Star Wars or film or something with Sith, and maybe talk about some of the stuff he's covered.
Yeah, I think this was good, but we could save this more. We'll have plenty of these later, honestly. But we went on for this for like a good half hour or more. Well, yeah, I'm surprised we still have over 10 viewers after all that. Thanks for hanging in, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
I've been trying to address you a little bit in the chat as we go, and we're seeing all your stuff. It's just not with a good group like this. We all have a lot to say, so we're all getting our word in and talking and stuff. But Here, I'll just read a few things from the chat just real quick, and then we'll start talking about Star Wars and stuff again. So, Star Wars, that should give us 12 more viewers. All right. And then so starting to make internet douche says I have an easy way to explain the issue. If an activist sees a set of stairs but no ramp, they will think about the disabled and the petition to have the ramp built. Yeah, probably. And then somebody can introduce says a SJW will see the stair and think of disabled, and then demand the stairs be destroyed to avoid offending the disabled.
Exactly.
He's always the internet douche always has a zinger somewhere in all of his speech. I love it.
That was on point.
And here, go ahead.
I was just saying he is more mature for his age than I think we're giving him credit for.
Yeah, but you were one of the most entertaining dudes to have in a chat, dude, because you just always got something, even if it's nothing to do with what we're talking about. But he's always got a zinger. Yeah, I feel like he writes them down as we're talking. He's like, yeah, okay, I'll get him next time.
Love that name, guys.
Yep. And then Hallmark Jeremy says to Black Angus, I would have loved to look that up. Not with the Army Navy game. Or what are you guys talking about? With the I've seen that in here a little bit. What are you talking about?
He said go Navy, beat Army, and I'm like, I don't follow college football, even the Army Navy game. I know Army sucked for like the last 20 years in football, but yeah, just to be clear, because I do cover the NFL, and I want to do more essay stuff, but I'm just doing picks right now because it's easier. But with that said, I don't follow the college football. I'm aware because I listen to sports radio, but I protest it because they don't pay the players. So I'll just put that out there for anyone that is interested in my take on sports and Army Navy. It's like I'm from Oklahoma. I would love to root for OU, but they don't pay the players, so I abstain.
Okay. Oh yeah, Angus. Since you're one of my moderators, if you wanted to put links in the chat about anything we're talking about, or about your social media, or our stuff, or anything, feel free as we're going along.
I just plugged Flip's Twitter.
Okay, yeah, just as you want. That's fine. Because I don't have all my tabs up right now, so I'm feeling really lazy tonight.
That reminds me. Hey Seth.
Yeah.
Hey, I use my phone for everything, and it's super late. So if I start screwing around with it now, I'm afraid I would lose you guys. But I will follow you on Twitter in the morning. I assure you.
Oh, no doubt, man. I already followed you, so.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Well, what was I going to say? I was going to say something on before we end our chat on our SJW-ish political discussion. But in the chat, tell us what you want us to talk about. So you guys can pick. What do you guys want us to talk about? And I'll finish up the thing real quick. So I was going to say, so from my perspective, from things growing up, I was raised so my mom mostly raised me for the most part, but so did my dad. And they separated around when I was 5, but she never, indoctrinated religion onto me, but she never told me not to either. Like, it was just always kind of open for whenever I felt like, I suppose. And, I was like, when I was in middle school, I was like, oh, everybody's telling me I'm a Christian or something. And I was like, what the hell's a Christian? And they're like, oh, well, we have a kid's Bible if you want to read it. And I'm like, well, okay. I'm like, these stories are kind of weird. No, I'm good. and then at some point I was more into science and just, went along with that and found that in my own way. And it was like, okay, that's just, she'd let me make my choice of what I want to be when I'm older. And then like, you can apply that to anything, like, with girls and stuff, girls were just cute my whole life. It's just like, yeah, okay. Yep, girls all the way, definitely. And with politics, I don't even think politics were ever really discussed in my house at all. Even with my dad or mom, like neither of them ever did, or my brother or sister never really discussed politics. My sister is like 5 years older than me. She would sometimes, say something about Obama or something, and I don't think she likes. She doesn't talk about politics these days, but I mean, it was never a huge thing. So I was kind of able to just pick whatever side. And for a little while, I was in 8th grade, I think, when Obama was elected, was when I was first kind of starting to get into politics, be aware. Like before, if you'd asked me who's the president, I'd be like, I think it's George. but I was like, what's his last name? You know, I was that little into the whole spectrum of all that, and came in when I was older. So it's like I didn't have the influence, I suppose, of society thrown on me to make all my decisions with everything. And like even like so at the time I was like, yeah, I guess I'm Democratic, I guess. And then that was only because I was hearing from the Republican side on the news. Like the only thing I would hear is, oh, you Mexicans go back across the border and fuck that, and you know, all you people suck. And that was the only thing I was hearing. But then once I got onto YouTube and stuff and would hear like Republicans talk, like Ethan Van Sciver and stuff, I was like, well, these people seem kind of nice. I mean, not all of them are horrible. And, you know, more and more, I'm like, oh, well, that's just the extreme part. And then also at the same time, hearing a bunch of the extreme left part. And I mean, I don't have too much more to say on that, but it's like, I'll just a little bit of information about me, about how I, you know, my roots a little bit, where I went. Like I was never told to be anything or raised to be whatever, just kind of picked as I got older. I don't know. That's it.
That's good.
Said yeah, but which I find interesting because I don't think anybody else was really raised like that, but I find a lot more in common with people than I thought I would. So that's good.
Yeah, it's just a matter of, you know, intaking what you see and letting it mold you. Sounds like your mom was really awesome to you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. So she didn't want to force me to do or like something. I just would see it, you know, see if I like it or not, and you know, do whatever, and just how it was.
Yeah, I mean, you hate The Last Jedi, so she did something right.
Yeah, and she hated that too. She loves the original Star Wars, just the Episode 4. She didn't really care for the other two either, really. But she hated The Last Jedi when I made her watch it. Oh yeah. So let me see what the chat's saying. I didn't look at the chat yet. What their answers were. So the new TV Star Wars thing, or Indiana Jones 5, or Captain Marvel in the Avengers 4, or Rogue One, that came up twice now.
Okay, Indiana Jones 5. So if you guys have, you know, just perused my channel a little bit, you see that I've done 2 Indiana Jones 5 updates, and the reason I did 2 is the first one was just for fun, and ended up getting the most views out of any video I have. And so I did another one, but for some reason it's not getting as many. But it's still weird. It's like an anomaly. I have like almost 200 views on it, and I have no idea why. You know.
Yeah, same. I can't. Some of my like one video will get like 200 views, and then my most recent one about the new Star Wars series has like 17.
Oh no!
And it's like the one that you thought was so good. Sorry.
Yeah, my Boba Fett's the same way. I'm like, man, it didn't take me as long as some of my other videos, but like I put a good amount of work and thought in my Boba Fett analysis. I'm thinking like, oh, this is gonna take off, and I wasn't even thinking about the Mandalorian. Flip's like, oh, you should do something about the Mandalorian. I'm like, no, I don't care about the clickbait of new Star Wars. And you know, I'm thinking like, okay, and I've gotten like 50 views, which is not bad, but it's like, man, you know, you get spoiled when you get a video that hits like 200 or 300 views, or like my Thanos video, probably because the title says Philosophy of Thanos. I got like over 1,000 views on that. It's my biggest video so far. So
wow,
it's kind of like Rookie's video for High Council. That's his claim to fame so far.
Yeah, pretty much.
The highest I got was like 400, and it was when I interviewed the guy who did the Russian bot study for The Last Jedi.
You interviewed him?
Yeah, it's on my channel because he added me in in the paper. He quoted one of my tweets, and he sectioned me under political activists, and I had a problem with that. So I invited him out to my channel, and I asked him, and I basically critiqued his entire study right to him in the form of questions, and I got him to admit that all the headlines that were going around were actually wrong because his study shows that the amount of Russian trolls and bots were actually not out of the ordinary for anything on Twitter, and they're actually statistically insignificant. So basically, it just kind of like debunked the whole narrative of like, oh, it was the Russians, and that's why The Last Jedi or had backlash or whatever.
Wow, Seth,
that's interesting, man.
It's on my channel if you want to check it out.
I'll check that out, and I'll see if if Jeff at World Class wants to look at that or something, because or EVS or something too. I think they'd like to see that guy speak and have a YouTuber like you like that, dude. That's good.
I think
that should be your claim to fame, man. Fuck,
That's
you actually
top
got
tier.
a person that was highly in the news on YouTube to go on your channel, and you just got 100 subscribers tonight. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know if it's because like maybe I was nervous on there, and maybe my questions. I don't know because a lot of people said I had great questions, but maybe it just was like I don't know. I don't know why I didn't blow up. I know the quartering watched it because he had a problem with one part of it where he basically because I was making the point that like politically I've kind of moved away from tweeting too much politically
Good move.
in the past. But then he tried to pull up he had my Twitter up, I guess, and he tried to like disprove me on the spot.
I have the facts right here,
right for you. He said, "What about your tweet on August 2nd about Gen Con and that Nazi guy?" And I was just like, "Oh no, I don't think Jeremy's a Nazi," you know. And then Jeremy heard that and he got offended, and they went back and forth on Twitter. And the guy I interviewed was like, "Oh no, I thought he was talking about Richard Spencer," and I was just like,
"What the?
Where'd you get Richard Spencer out of?"
Weird.
But yeah, I don't know. I felt like because I know SC Reviews was made aware of it. I know that I think someone mentioned to Ethan. I don't know if he saw it. They didn't seem to care about it. So
well, yeah, they are pretty busy, so
it's whatever.
Something, but that's cool, man. I like that. Go ahead, Flip.
I like to think that what you guys are doing, and whenever I'm lucky enough to be involved, I think that it's really, I mean, I don't see anybody else out there doing it. You say the fandom in a space too, and it really kind of rings true. And I think that it's really growing, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I do too, man. And I like how this is turning out to be because I literally just kind of came up with this on the fly. And I didn't really plan it out, which is why the Cinema Squad thing isn't as finite as it should be. And I'm hoping that we'll figure that out too at some point. Right now, we're just shifting around as we go, figuring that.
Sith fits in quite well, if you ask me, Sith.
Yeah, I think so too. And this is just the rookie corner. It's just I like the way that the Lone Wolf Cub put it, which is like, I'm just here in my corner as the rookie, and Angus and Wolf will tell you all day that my lack of seeing certain movies and shows is crazy for somebody who's so into film. And I'm having people on here that know a lot or that have a whole bunch of different takes on things, or that have different education, and I like learning it too. I like having the conversations, and that's the one thing I can't get out of my normal real friends. Like, God, they suck at talking. They suck.
Oh, same.
Like I can't talk with them for more than 5 minutes because the conversation's all over. There's nothing to talk about. And I'm like, well, what about this? Like, I don't care. What about this? I don't care. And they don't even bring anything up to talk about. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. So,
just look at the phones.
Dude, I have that problem with even football fans. Like when I go to like this football group, one of my pick videos is with the president of an Eagles group on Facebook here in Columbus, Ohio. And I got him to do the picks, and he's like, I don't really watch a lot of football besides Philly. I'm like, what? Like, it's pretty dedicated to start a fan group for football, and you don't really care to follow football. Like, it's just odd, especially with like trades and fantasy and all that. It keeps you involved with the league. And so, yeah, I feel the same problem with like, I got friends that I think are nerds, but then you actually talk to them and they don't know anything about what's going on in nerddom with film or comics or anything. It's
okay, Angus, so you got me there. I know what's going on with nerddom. I just not much about talking about it. I'm sorry. He asked me to be on his football stream, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it, man, but I really don't think I'll be doing you any favors.
Yeah. There's some people who are there's some people who are like social nerds, where it's just like, oh, they're nerds about like Marvel movies and stuff like that, or they say they are, but then you talk to them, yeah, they're about what's trendy. Exactly. I know with my friends, they're just not into all that stuff. So I get to come on here and meet new friends and get to talk about it. It was partly why I made my Twitter.
Yeah, I got you. That was a good move because I think that was how I found you first. You either followed me or I followed you. I don't remember. It was on Twitter though. And then at some point I was just looking around on channels that I had or people I was following, and I was just checking people out. And I was like, oh, this guy's got a channel. oh shit. And that's when I messaged you. I was like, oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've seen Sith on Twitter, but the way he came across, I think I started following him, but I didn't realize he had a channel. But or maybe I did, but I thought he was like bigger than me and Rookie to like ever get noticed from him. I don't know, but it's something weird like that where I was like, man, this guy seems like he talks a lot with people on Twitter. He must be, have a pretty good channel or something. And then you're like, Jeff shares something else like, oh, let me get 100 subs by New Year's, and I'm like, hey, you only got 100 subs. Like, wow,
Yeah.
like I had this aura about you that you were like way bigger before I checked into you, and it's like he'll get bigger if he's consistent. It's the same for all of us. We're consistent. People are gonna like our stuff.
Well, two things. Thank you. And it's weird. It's because like there's a lot of creators who I interact with on like Twitter and stuff, I guess. And there's like this little community, I guess, of like people who didn't like The Last Jedi. And I guess I'm like in those circles, but I only started my YouTube like back in June, I think.
Oh, so around the time I started.
Yeah, I started consistently uploading like in the summer,
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm not big in any way on Twitter or on
But
YouTube.
before you started your official content creating, were you on YouTube like back in December, just like as a, just a social media person, personal?
Yeah, I had Twitter. I built up my Twitter before I ever started making YouTube.
Well, that's good.
I know I've seen you because your name rings, a bell, like complaining to geeks and gamers or something like that about.
Oh yeah. I've been in like super chats and stuff.
That's probably it. Yeah.
That
Don't
makes
forget
sense.
Sith Kryptonian. It's like
That's what I'm saying. It's such a good name, but it just when you say it, it's like I don't know. You have to really be ready to say it. Sith Kryptonian. Other than Sith Kryptonian.
Ivan Ortega would call me Sith Cryptorian.
That sounds about right. That sounds right.
But hey, as long as it reads well,
Yes. Well, I'm glad to have met you too, and that you came on here. I still wish that I could get Obi-Wan on here. I'm gonna do a test stuff with him over the week or something to see if we can get something to work, so we can see if going live will work. But what I like too about the Rookie Corner with what it's turning into now, honestly, the idea was really just just reach out to somebody, see if they want to come and talk and whatnot and just see what's up. And now I'm, meeting a lot more people. Their people are coming in. And at first I thought it might just be like me, Angus, and Wolf for the most part. But Wolf, isn't as available, which is fine too. He's good on the weekends usually. And but then it's like we got Flip and we got Alex Lates and the Lone Wolf Cub and we got you, and it's like I like this, and everybody's different. Like none of us are the same in anything. Like some YouTube personalities with the people they bring on, they're so similar. It's like there's no interesting conversation, or it's interesting for a little bit when it's hot, and then it's like, oh, you're still talking about that. Okay, all right.
Do you guys ever watch YouTube video how-tos from actually the corporate YouTube?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
they're so awful.
I'm sure.
How-tos?
But like all those guys, like, could you imagine them talking together like that?
Oh God,
they're all the same. Like,
dude, anything on like the YouTube trending page is always so bland.
Yeah, I wish there was an option to have literally the opposite of that. Like a non-trending or brand new people that have low subs or something, because
non-trending. It's like, hey, no one knows about this.
No, but
don't look at it.
I don't know.
Trending.
You know what I mean. If they had a video. If they had a video of, I don't know what, compared to what they put out there, maybe it still wouldn't get as many views, but the option would be there to look at new subscriber, or, new channels, or channels that have low view counts, like in a search or something.
Like a discover tab.
Kind of, yeah. But like you can get really specific. Go small Star Wars channels that started within the last year or something, and see what happens, or something like that, so you can track down in a way some smaller channels. Because otherwise, by now I think my name comes up early enough when you type in the Rookie Critic. In the first year, in the first couple months I was trying to do it last year, I think the Rookie of the Year would come up first, and like all these other rookie things, and the Nostalgia Critic came up every time because Critic, it was in it, which is funny because that's where part of my name came from. I was a fan of him for all that. And then now when you type in the Rookie Critic, okay, now like the High Council video comes up. My Cecil video where I sing a song about him is my second highest viewed. which is funny because I can't sing for shit, but I just rhyme about him, and it's
Okay, so everybody, in the next 2 videos you do, everyone put on, even if it's super small, put "Don't watch this" on your thumbnail.
I have a feeling that'd be my most viewed video.
Yeah, my focus boring review. I'm surprised anybody clicked on it. Really, I hated that video.
No, Angus actually commented on one of my older videos. I think it was like my first Star Wars video, and I was like, "Oh no, that's the first one he watched."
Yeah, I backtrack, dude. When I find people, I start from the beginning. I'm a completionist.
Dude, was that video painful, man? It was so bland. My commentary was so bland on that one, and my mic sucked.
There's maybe you could re-edit the pauses, maybe, and make it a little more fast. But I liked what you were talking about. You had everything well thought out. You just you're just new on YouTube, and there's little errors like that where like I get really in depth with my editing sometimes, or like I make sure to cut out like even my breathing and stuff. And I'm like, wait, I need to pause I need at least a half pause. That way it doesn't sound like a run-on sentence. So like I get very overthinking it.
It's the recording process.
Yeah, same. And I always forget to not breathe into the mic. And then when I'm editing, I just I kick myself because it becomes so tedious.
Yeah, no, I hear you. That's actually funny because that was one of my main issues when I first started. Was I wasn't satisfied with my videos anymore. I made 40 videos, and I was like, over 4 months, I made 40 videos, and I was like, fuck, wow. I don't know what I'm doing. So then I took like 8 months off, not posting anything, and taking some time learning. Which is when, in between that time, is when I made that stupid focus skit. And then at some point I made a review, and I was like, fuck. Like, I just put that out recently, the boring review. And I thought it was going to take a while to edit it, but I did it in less than 2 hours, the editing. And I was like, you know what? I've learned how to record in a way that makes the editing easy. And then I realized I don't need to have an image up for everything I say. Like if I mention something, I don't need to have something that matches what I just said, every word. I'm like, no, okay, that's too much of a strain. Nobody cares. They only see it for 2 seconds. It doesn't matter. So it becomes a lot easier to figure it out once you get the hang of it. And I mean, the reason why I'm the rookie critic, the rookie is the main part. And the part is that I want people to click on my first videos. Like I'm glad that the Lone Wolf Cub has watched so many of my first ones, and I know Angus, you probably looked at a few. Flip, you looked at a few of them, and it's like so. Then you can look at the ones I do now, and you can compare. You can go, that was the rookie back then. Holy shit! Then you'll get them now, and then you're like, okay, I'm seeing some improvement. Good, and then you continue to see it. Yeah.
How long have each of you been doing it? I know Sith said since June. What about you, Rookie?
I'll say my total posting time is around 7 months, so that I'd say I've been active, because the first 4 months were pathetic, where I had 7 subs and 40 videos, and then it came back, and this is my 3rd month, so it's about 7 months.
That's awesome.
Rookie, I have backtracked some of your initial work, and it's fun to see where you've come after a couple years.
Thank you. I hope it's still entertaining with how stupid it is.
Oh, it's so bad it's good. I understand that phrase now.
Thank you. I did a lot of skits, Seth. I did a lot of skits where I fight myself because I didn't know what else to do. So and there's no cameraman or anything, and a lot of times I didn't know what to do with the camera or where the mic was. And I was thinking about this, guys. What do you think? I need to get your opinions on this. And in the chat, I need your guys' opinion. I just found I didn't delete these. I thought I did, but I'm glad I didn't. I found it on a jump drive. My very first set of videos that I ever recorded. It was a skit, a long skit, like it's maybe half an hour or an hour long, called Trying to Write a Screenplay. And it is so awful.
I want to watch that.
It's with a camera that has a shitty mic. In some of it, though, I learned I could dub with my phone, and it's a shitty dub of my voice over myself. And oh my god! And it's like sometimes I'm like, what was I thinking? But it's hilarious. I could probably post that. I'd probably edit a few things out just so you don't see like where I live or my last name or nothing. But other than that, it's pretty solid, pretty funny.
Oh my god!
I don't know. I was thinking if I should wait or just do that.
I feel that way right before I publish anything. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, so when it's like once it's out there, I mean, it's technically out there. Like, just go, oh, no, it wasn't out there. Nope. Yes, it was. Like the internet, it's a stain as soon as it's on the internet.
Do you guys put it to YouTube as a private first so you can make sure?
No, no.
No,
I review it. I look at it
everything.
before I post it.
Yeah, I edit
Go ahead.
everything, then I just upload. Unless there's I do utilize the unlisted or private for like when I was doing it just took me forever, so I didn't do it, but I was going to do an NFL like welcome back football and do like a highlight reel of all the greatest plays of the previous year through the weeks. And so I would to save space, like I said, to rip your own videos. Once you edit, then you put it on YouTube and then rip it, and then you can delete what you have and still have the same stuff, but it's compressed into like a smaller data file. So I do stuff like that with YouTube, unlisting videos where it's like this is only partial and I'm trying to save space on my computer. But no, I'm pretty meticulous about my editing before I upload stuff.
I always put it on private first, mostly because I put like a title card at the end that like suggests my videos, and then there's a subscribe button. But also because there's always like something, like there's always like you could be like I'd be editing like all night and it'd be late, and I'd have one perception of the video, and then I'd go to sleep and then wake up and I'd listen to it and I'm just like, okay, this isn't worth uploading.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I do it, I finish the editing and then I just watch it all the way through, and I do it to full screen and I make sure there's no mistakes as far as sound and the visuals, that's edited nice enough, and then I just literally export, upload, make a thumbnail real quick, and throw it up there. I used to put a lot of time into the thumbnails, and I mean, I could but that was before I launched the channel. I would spend time photoshopping things out and cropping, which was fine for some of those videos, but goddamn, that is a task on its own. And I'm gonna figure out a quicker way to make better thumbnails. But do you guys like my thumbnails so far?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I just literally put an image and then.
You know what's simple and pretty easy to use that I use for thumbnails? I just use like Google Slides.
Google Slides? Huh. I didn't hear about that.
I use
Canva
because you can resize it.
Oh yeah, it's basically PowerPoint, but you just put your picture, you put the pictures in, you could resize it, you could put multiple pictures, then you could put the text, and you could like pick what kind of text. And it's a real quick way to make a thumbnail.
Well, that's pretty cool. I use the Movavi editing thing for photos. I'm gonna post. I have the video. I have the script for it done. It'll be a quick video when I do it, but I just haven't done that yet. I'll probably record that on Monday, where I show everybody what I use, all my equipment and the video editing program and the photo editing and whatnot, so everybody can get a little taste of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, Flip's gonna have a lot of skits coming soon. I feel he's got a creative mind up there. Wants to do some silly shit.
I'm racking my brain. I've got a couple. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to ask you about this one. It seems that in one of these ones coming up, that I'll be desperately holding on to a kitty cat, and it might die and squirt blood everywhere. Is that funny?
Oh, are you reviewing something when you're doing it?
No. I'm not really sure. I'm not revealing anything. No.
I think
it'd be just a random idea you have.
I think it'd be kind of funny if you were like reviewing something kind of lighthearted, and then you're just like, "Oh, it's a pretty kitty." Oh shit.
That's good to know.
Oh, hey, Flip. Here's my idea with that. If you have a real cat around, it'll be really funny, especially if do like some really horrible blaxploitation or like Evil Dead type of cuts where it's like obvious this is kind of bad editing. like Happy Gilmore with the alligator, or Baxter in Baxter in Anchorman when he kicks him off the bridge. You can
like
clearly tell it's like a doll.
Yeah,
have a fake cat where it's like completely obvious and maybe even different colored than the cat that is alive in your video.
I like it. I love that.
Because people like, oh look, the cat's different, and it's just like something stupid.
Just like stick it in the microwave and like just.
Nice. That'd
And
be
the
good.
bad man, he kicked Baxter. I'm in a glass cage of emotion.
Yeah, I mean, so do you guys like do you find it hard to like we're all pretty new to YouTube, but do you find it hard to like get a grasp of whether people are like liking your stuff or like just watching it because like you asked them to on Twitter, or like how can you tell if like what you're making is like hitting?
Well, I'll go first on that, I guess, because when I was first posting things, when I had 7 subscribers, I mean, I would get some videos here and there, and I know that my subscribers were not watching me because they were my friends, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I guess I'll sub you for shits." You know, they didn't care. Maybe one of them was legit. I don't know, but I would get maybe 10 or 12 views on some videos sometimes, and some I was like, come on, like I was doing a Spartacus one, a Marvel one, like a lot of ones I was putting work into, like a couple fan trailer things. And I was like, God damn it, nobody's looking at any of these. I didn't know why. I put a lot of effort into the thumbnails, and then I was like, okay, well, I'll make some. Yeah, I wanted to make YouTuber appreciation ones anyway, like regardless of who watches it. So I just said, okay, I'll just put those out. Those did get more views ish at first. The Lindsay Ellis one got maybe 30 views, and another one got 20, another one got like 10. I was like, well, okay, that's fine. And then I just really wanted to do the High Council one. And then after that, people were looking at my other videos and liking them. And I only have a few dislikes on a few videos, but most people leave good comments or good likes and check them out. My Comic Skate one, I didn't know who would watch it or anything. And now I got over 30 views on it within a couple hours. But if I look at it now, I'll probably have over 50. The streams, my live streams, usually get over 50 to 60 or 70 now views, and one has like over 100. And so I don't. It's hard to tell. It depends on what people are doing, when they want to look at it. Sometimes they look at it later.
Yeah, so I just put out this video, right, about Cassian Andor.
Yeah.
And when it's probably one of my better videos as far as like my voiceover and like putting my points together, and it's not too long. It's only like 4 minutes, and I see that it only has 17 views, but it has basically 5 likes and 1 dislike. And there's a lot of my videos like that where there's just like 1 or 2 dislikes, and I just want to know so bad what the dislike is for.
You just hit 100 subs. I don't know if you did earlier, but I just looked at you. You got 100 subs now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but I tell everybody in the chat, I'm like, everybody sub this fucking dude right now.
Yeah, everybody who sub.
Yep, got him there. I feel good with that. You see, I can understand how EVS feels sometimes when he's promoting shit, and it gets to a point. It's like, oh yes, it's like a game. You got the number. You reached the goal. You got that 100. Now let's try to get 200 tonight. Let's try to get. It's a fun type of game to play with.
But yeah, I mean, like, it just kills me. Like, I want to know why, like, what you disliked for, like, so I can improve it.
I do wish they'd leave comments with the dislikes, I admit.
Yeah, same.
But I do like that people dislike. And all the end of my videos, I say, if you like the video, leave a like. If you hated it, then click dislike. It's
like when Rookie and I, right before he started the stream, and it was just us for a minute. I mean, he was saying that you get so many subs, and then you'll have a couple that'll unsubscribe, but then the next thing you know, you've got 5 more, and that's all new to me for sure. Just like you guys, I guess. But I mean, you can never really know. Well, why did you unsubscribe? Like,
yeah. It's like literally they're like, oh, I like what this guy's doing. I like that video. Then the next day, no, fuck that dude. It's like, well, yeah. What made you say no? Did you watch another one and say fuck that, or what? Like, I don't know.
No, I get that. It's definitely frustrating not having enough feedback. You look at the bullshitters and they get, like 1,000 comments in like a day on their videos, and it's like, yeah, like why can't I get a ratio like this to give me an idea what are people thinking? I don't know. It's part of the growing pains. Just gotta stick with it, I think. I feel the same way. My most controversial video is the Predator review, because I say in the title, I'm like, autism is good now, because like that's where the Predator went. And I'm critiquing it with a little bit of my science knowledge of like primatology and stuff. and talking about how autism is a deficient state for humans. It, it affects communication, and primates rely on communication. We're not solitary, and people didn't like it, and they said like, "Oh, like you're not saying this properly about autism," and it's like I'm just not sugarcoating it. So, maybe if you say something hot button enough to people that is like taboo to talk about, you'll
Not in
probably
this.
get more. You'll
Not in,
probably get
sorry to
more
interrupt.
blatant. You'll
Sorry
probably
to
get more
interrupt.
blatant. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I keep interrupting and then saying sorry, and then when I say sorry, it keeps interrupting you. It makes me feel horrible.
Yeah, go
But
ahead.
yeah, like this video, right? I don't even say anything really controversial. I just basically like just say, oh, they're making Cassian Andor series, but why? Like, who asked for that? And like, if you're gonna make a Rogue One spinoff, like you have Chiro Imwe, why would you pick Cassian Andor? And I'm just like, okay, so I don't think I said anything controversial. So in my head, I'm like, okay, maybe they're disliking because of my joke. But then I have a lot of people, like the comments that people leave are positive. So then I'm not sure. And then I just keep thinking in my head. And then I start overthinking when I'm making a video. And like, that's the last thing I want to do.
No, yeah, you really need to not do that, man, because I don't know, like with my stuff, I actually never have thought about that. I'm like, oh, will somebody really hate this? Because honestly, I was actually hoping for a negative comment. I was hoping for some of these because I'm like, well, because then I could maybe get criticism or something. But I was expecting that or trolls, but I got nothing. I'm kind of disappointed in a way, but I'm not too worried about how it's presented because I'm doing it the way I am and I'm learning. And it's like same with you, if you're doing it and it gets learned. I mean, if they even told you that the way you said it was they didn't like it, I mean, would you really want to change it
No.
for them for that? No. So I mean, it's not a big deal.
Like
really.
getting caught masturbating, you're still going to do it.
I thought you said you like getting caught masturbating for a second.
Yeah, he cut out, so I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, it sounded like you said I like getting caught masturbating.
I got a Louis
saying-
C.K. in the building.
It's like that, just because you got caught doesn't mean you're going to stop.
Right. That's a good point. It's like, what's the point now, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess just like maybe I'm just self-conscious. Like I don't know if my content sucks or not.
Well, it's so I see like you again. I see all of us, man. We're all going to be rising. Is how I feel. Like I was once I got to 200 subs, I feel good about it. Like that enough people do like it is kind of confirmed once you do reach a certain level. I would think it's like okay, enough people do like the stuff that I'm putting out. But some people might have only clicked on my video because it had the High Council in it once. Or because it had, I did a Spartacus one once, or that I did a Marvel one once. I mean, those could be the only reason why they subbed you at all, and then never view your stuff. And so I don't know. It's always, I don't know. Again, I want to see some criticism on more of my stuff so I can know what people don't like. I have no idea because to me, sometimes I think my audio sucks, or sometimes I think that I'm using the same picture too often, or something, or that I'm just keep on replaying the clips of the trailer and that's boring, or my jokes aren't funny enough, or I come off too boring. But nobody tells me that, so I keep on doing it the way I'm doing it. Honestly.
Well,
Sure.
That's true. Yeah, I think so. Like I think we all worry about that, but sometimes at some point you just got to pull the trigger.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. The Hallmark channel Jeremy says, if you guys want to troll, I guess I'll do that.
Thank you.
Thanks, bro. Nicholas Glenn says he wants to start his own YouTube channel and got some things in the works. I just subbed you, Nicholas. Sounds like you got some stuff. Again, seriously, I put my Twitter in the chat. If you guys want to come on to this at some point, I mean, not tonight. I mean, we're going to probably end it soon in a little bit. So you guys can get some sleep. We have another stream going on at 9 a.m. Pacific. So we'll need a little bit of rest. But yeah, this is fun. And again, like we're talking about, I like, talking to other people so we can, and then with you guys too, follow these guys. I mean, you don't have to be on my channel to talk. You can talk with Angus. He likes to stream. Flip, for all I know, you'll stream at some point, but maybe not if you're just on your phone. And Sith, I know you're doing some streams and stuff. Sith has a streaming channel. You stream sometimes.
Yeah, I just stream on my main channel from time to time.
How do you record it without being live?
So when you create the event, there's a little box you can tick that says public or private.
Oh, duh.
And if you hit private,
okay, yeah, I never looked at that.
Yeah, if you hit private, it just You do
Just
the
don't go
stream.
live.
You do the stream, and then it automatically saves to your channel as soon as you're done.
Oh, that's cool.
When you
Okay.
hit private.
Yeah, when I would record, I had a podcast called Saber's Edge. So when I would record that, we wouldn't do it live because I felt like I didn't have enough followers yet. So we just record it in private, and then we'd put it out like as soon as we were done.
It's clever.
Yeah.
That's good. Mark, I was gonna say the Mark channel. God damn it, the Hallmark channel. Jeremy again says, "I'd like to know the minimum equipment to do YouTube." I'll probably make a video on that.
A phone.
You just need a mic.
Phone. I do everything on my phone.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah, I can actually agree with that. I didn't start doing it that way. I started with the editing thing, but I did add one when I was dog sitting at my neighbor's house, and I was like, "Fuck, I want." That was when I did the Cookie Critic Part 2. I was like, "God damn it, I kind of want to get this up now." I was like, "I'll just download a video editor real quick and edit one," and that was pretty easy. And I could have made a thumbnail actually too, but I decided not to. But yeah, it's pretty easy on the phone for basic stuff.
It's true. All I use is for making thumbnails or adding words and stuff to pictures, or even pictures and pictures, is an app called Over. And also iMovie, which comes on the iPhone standard.
Okay. Yeah. He says he only has a smartphone in the chat. Yeah. So, dude, if you have a microphone, a camera, and internet, you can basically make YouTube. So,
Yeah.
for the most part.
Most streamers basically make their living off their phones. So,
yeah, true. I mean, it wasn't that EVS too, for the most part. He would have his phone point at his iPad.
Yeah.
But he'd use his phone to point at the iPads and shit. It's like, okay, that's fine. See, I feel like a lot of us right now. See, right now, if we're able to get people to listen to us now and follow us now, we're babies right now. We're little babies, and we'll be growing and we'll be getting better as we grow. So the more people catch on to us, the better we'll be at some point. But that means you guys listening have to be hard on us sometimes, so we can make sure we're still doing good. But
yeah, 100%.
It seems like I think people like how. I'd just say how chill we are, I guess, or how we allow. I mean, like if an SJW wanted to come on here, I'd let them.
Yeah,
probably.
100%.
I mean, like I don't want to be, oh, you can't fucking come on here. We're only this and that. No, I mean we could talk. I mean, I'm pretty sure Angus and them would have a little back and forth.
Probably me too. I get to a point. I get to a point with people with like SJWs or even like super far right people where it's just like, okay, you know what? Your idea is stupid, and here's why.
Problem is you probably couldn't get them to come on because they run away from conflict.
Well, they don't know how to rationalize their arguments either. They were never taught that.
I agree. Yeah.
Maybe. What do you think, Angus?
Oh well, sorry, I was looking at people responded to something I said in Star Wars Sith posting on Facebook, and I'll read this meme to y'all. It's the scene of Anakin and Obi-Wan where he's like, "I have failed you, Anakin." And it's a back and forth, but they put Winnie the Pooh from the Christopher Robin movie over Anakin. Okay, so he's like, "I have failed you, Pooh. I have failed you." He says, "I should have known the Heffalumps are plotting to take over." He's like, "Pooh, Heffalumps aren't real." He's like, "From my point of view, you are a Heffalump." He's like, "Well, then you are lost." Oh, that's stupid. But
so I was gonna say, if we brought an SJW on here, how long would you last, or would you?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm pretty intolerant of the SJWs, ironically, but no, I would try. I would definitely try. That's the difference between us. Is like it will conservative or centric minded people. We will entertain the idea as opposed to hiding behind. Oh, you're Nazis. I'm not going to engage Nazis or whatever excuse they do to not actually back up their claims.
Right. As soon as they start doing that, and as soon as they start like labeling me, especially on Twitter, I just go into roast mode. I can't. I think Angus and I would probably have to like bow out at some point for it to continue to be a conversation.
See, if it was on my channel, I would have preset rules of you guys need to at least try to not insult each other, like, at the very least. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just a fun idea because I mean I think that'd be a different conversation. I mean, would you see any of them on the bigger channels? like an
You
SJ,
should
would
really
they bring on
try.
SJWs? I mean, I feel like that's part of the reason why people like us too. It's like we're willing to have a conversation with another side. I mean, like I said, I'm not the way I'm raised. It's like I don't know. We keep on talking about them all the time, and hearing about them, and hearing them from the internet. But it's like, what would it be if we were to really talk to them? And would this even be what we talk about? Would we be able to talk about Star Wars without being at each other's throats, or would we be able to find some type of ground, or what? Like, because some of my friends, at the most part, in like real life, they're almost SJW, but they're not. Like, as far as they can see some things as to why they're good, and some as why they're bad, or they don't like Trump or whatever. But I mean, for the most part, they're able to have the conversation and see both sides. But like a full SJW, that'd be fun to have a conversation with. I think I like to debate and stuff, but I don't ever escalate. Like, when people start to yell at each other is when I go, I don't know how to respond. Because it's like, you motherfucker, you suck cocks in hell, you bitch, or some shit. I'd be like, I don't know what to say now. Like, okay, I could call you a bitch too, but now I'm not doing nothing. Now we're not getting anywhere if that's what we resorted to.
It's like, yeah, you caught me. I cosplay as Hitler every Thursday.
Yep, you know me so well. Yep, called it. I didn't like the stupid movie. You know my dark history.
I thought they made Luke soy, so therefore I worship Goebbels.
That's a funny thing that you say, because it's like it for me, the reason why I even consider myself fandom menace was because I was like, God, the Last Jedi was just not good, and people were like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's so diverse or something. And I was like, this was real people that said that. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about?
And me, they're talking about Luke being like they're going to show an OP Luke, a younger OP Luke. How do you guys feel about that?
I don't care
anymore. Too little, too late, dumbass.
They should have started with. It's like did you hear my analogy earlier, Sith, on my other stream with Flip the other day?
No, I didn't.
I'll do a quick version. So the Force Awakens is like the bottom piece of a sandwich. It's like the bread, the bottom half. And it's like, it's you like bread. Bread's okay, but it's not like it's fucking delicious. It's like it's all right. It's not horrible. You'll eat it. And then you're supposed to have the meat that comes on next, which is supposed to be the middle of the movie, The Last Jedi. And they let that out for 5 days and at room temperature. They, there's a little bit of shit on it, and they slap it on there, and then now they're trying to rinse it and soak it in water with soap and shit. And it's like, you could put a steak on top of that for the other half of the bun or something. You could dip the next piece of bread in garlic, and this will still be a nasty ass fucking sandwich. So it doesn't matter what you do with the next film or anything. The way that this one film has fucked it up. And it's like you could wipe it from memory, but you still you could pretend in the next one that never happened, but it did. Like, you could say, oh, that was a dream though. No, but we still saw it. It's still in our head. And the way you guys responded after we said we don't like it, fuck you.
I think they definitely were like, they threw salt in the wound in there. They made the backlash a lot worse than it was going to be, just based on how they were handling it. But I want to say a couple things. One, it's awesome talking to you guys. You guys are really cool. So thank you for having me.
No problem.
Thanks for having.
You make a great point when you talk about you can't eat a sandwich if one of the layers is like shit, And I use the same analogy I made a video about why the DCEU should reboot. And an analogy I use is like, no matter how nice you make the fourth floor, a building can't stand on like shaky foundation. I feel like the same is true with Star Wars. Like, there's nothing you can do to take out the image in our heads of Rey holding a lightsaber to Luke Skywalker's neck after she completely like defeats him in a confrontation. I know there's been like excuse making about that, but the image remains,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's also like
they literally broke his lightsaber to get rid of like everything about him.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Exactly. Fuck. It's like what else was the thing I was gonna say? It's like fuck, I don't even remember now. I don't know. I had a good analogy, but I forgot what it was. Something breaking. Keep talking. I think.
Well, the titty milk scene was also great.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
It's not.
the Merc. So EVS did a funny video where he called it
Camel.
a Mer camel,
Yeah.
and he's like a Mark Hamill milking a Mer camel.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Hey, rookie, you know how you were telling me to say Mercamil?
Oh yeah, I think I probably should have put a space between the Mer and the camel.
I was like, what's a Mercamil? I had to ask somebody.
Yeah, but it's a Mer camel, but that's all right.
A Mercamel sounds like a carnivore game, or like a ride at a convenient park.
Right, or like a Deadpool thing.
Like, oh, I want to ride the
Merc.
Mercamel.
Right, I'm riding the Mer camel, the Mer camel. Oh yeah,
Yeah. I mean, they I don't know, man. There's just some things you can't undo, no matter what. And I actually put out a poll on Twitter, like saying basically, like, true or false, Episode 9 will wrap up the series nicely and reunite the fandom. And it was like 300 votes, and 90% said no. Like, it's just beyond saving.
Well, and I mean, part of it was definitely the reaction from either Lucasfilm or people in the media, because I mean, honestly, the film was what it was. But then people, you know, you go, I don't really like the film, and they go, well, you're a fucking bigot, and it's like, what? Where do you even come to that conclusion? They're like, well, because there was a woman in it, and you didn't like the film, therefore this. And it's like, is that how that works?
You know where that started?
Where?
I made a rant video when Kathleen Kennedy got her contract extended, and in it I talk about where, like, that interview she says where young girls can't identify with Luke Skywalker, and our story group is like 6/8 women and showing in our stories, and I'm just like, well, where are your priorities? Because it's becoming obvious to people that your priorities are about, like, your priorities aren't about making good stories. It's about making it's about your, like, personal agenda in a way. And I feel like a lot of the backlash was addressing that, and in doing so it kind of exposed all the other people in and around Lucasfilm who had similar ideology.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and it's like, okay, coming from a white guy here, a white straight male, it's like, I never looked at race so hard until they kept on throwing it in my face and telling
Exactly.
me that I am white and that they are this and that. I'm like, you know what? I looked at Will Smith as one of my favorite actors and all these things. There's a lot of people that I like that are not white exactly or my same gender. And it's like, I never thought about it like that ever until now it's like it's like, that's how you have to say it. Oh, I like that black actor now. It's like, well, that's just who they were. It didn't matter what race they were. Never gave a shit.
That's the problem with identity politics, especially in like film, because like a character like Lando, who to me was just an awesome character.
Yeah.
Now I think about, okay, he's black and he's a pansexual, instead of just being an awesome character named Lando.
Yeah, what's the point of that?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Do I want to see myself on the goddamn screen? Fuck no.
It's activism. It's
look at Jeff go.
Activism.
No.
Yeah, like I was a kid, I never thought about Blade. Like, you know, it was cool because my dad, when I'd go see him on the weekends, or whatever, he would go to Hastings or Blockbuster and get movies that I wanted, and he'd let me get rated R shit, and I was like 7 and 8, and I'd get Blade and Spawn all the time, dude, and I never thought, oh, I like my daddy's black and I'm black. It's like, no, they're fucking cool. Like, that was it. Like, I love Darth Maul and he's not even a human. Like,
so
hey,
weird,
that
man.
makes me think: is Darth Maul black or is he a redneck?
Both.
I think he'd be more black, but okay. He doesn't talk like a redneck. If he's like, "Hey, what's up, dog?" Yeah, I don't know.
His parents
we will get the Jedi. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, he'd be more redneck, but nah. He's like, no, we're gonna get him. Fuck yeah, bro. Cool.
His parents were like racist against each other, and they just had a hate baby.
Hate baby. That makes me think of did you see the PC babies on South Park?
No.
Oh my fucking
I've heard
God.
about it though. I watch No Bullshit, and they do recaps of South Park.
Yeah, oh my fucking god! Their best thing was like the PC principal, the political correctness principal, basically has replaced their main principal, and he's been in there for like 2 seasons now, and he has a strong female woman as his vice principal or whatever, and they have a babies and they're PC babies, and they're like they're PC babies. Like, what do you mean? He's like 2 black guys and an Asian walk into a bar, they all cry, and then later the Mr. Hanky, the poo, is like giving a speech about Christmas, and he's like, "Oh, and the holidays are about loving your fellow man." And the babies start crying. He's like, "What are they crying about now?" Sometimes the babies don't know what they're crying about. Well, they can just shut the fuck up. It's like just the PC baby is just the perfect representation of current the way people react. Sometimes they don't even know what they're crying about.
You know what
Crying
just
so
occurred to me?
What?
Something just occurred to me. I feel like with a lot of the PC people, it's like they can't control how a word makes them feel, so they want to control words. They want to control what everybody says because they can't control their own emotions, so they want to control your behaviors.
Yeah, which I mean,
It's
according to them, it goes against what they believe. But you know,
It's fascism.
what do you got there, Angus? What are you looking at?
I'm showing Hallmark Jeremy that Maul is mainly a red man,
Awesome.
like me.
Oh, he's Cherokee. Okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jeff.
let's give a little war cry. Yo!
Jeff, if you click on his icon, it'll lock on his screen because I want to look at the figure he has.
Yeah, I clicked on it.
Oh, no, it's not showing.
I know, showing on mine just his, but is it showing for you, Flip?
I can't see it.
Where did you get that? Where did you get that, Angus?
I got it from not YouTube, from eBay. I love hunting for deals on eBay, and this is the Kotobukiya FX. I got it for about 200, but it goes for about 300 plus because it's pretty rare and pretty freaking detailed, as you can see, and people want it.
Awesome.
It lights up, the sabers light up, but I accidentally dropped it, so the top part of the saber is broke, but it still fits in. So I never worry about turning it on, but it is a. I have 30 Mauls in my house.
Awesome.
Just to let you know how obsessed I am with Maul.
Yeah.
Damn, I have like 4 action figures.
Yo, how lucky is Sam Witwer that he gets? How lucky is Sam Witwer that he gets to be the voice of Maul and Starkiller?
Well, no, he's pretty lucky. It'd be great if he could get a little bit more work because I think Sam Witwer is awesome too. He was even Starkiller, you know.
I know. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I feel like he should. What if they just did like a Starkiller series for their streaming service?
It would be too cool.
I know. Instead, we have Cassie and Andor.
It's not a woman, so they don't want to do that.
Oh,
it don't got a vagina between its legs, therefore it's bad.
Starkiltress. It's Sam Witwer, but in drag.
What's funny too, seriously, what I really this kind of get under my nerves lately. I fucking love strong female characters in film so much, but it's like when you tell me that this bitch is a strong female character and she isn't, I don't understand what they want. It's like she isn't.
You know what it is?
She is strong. It's like, no, this bitch is just, she can just do anything. It doesn't make her good or strong.
You know what it is?
Huh.
They think that if a character is female and a character, then that's enough.
Well, then it's like she's just a female fucking character. It's like,
well, it's not even a character. Just like, oh, here's a female doing this. That's how they think.
It's so dumb.
Dude, you know, it's funny because I when I was in training for medic school in the Army, my roommate, because I was foreign to all this, like I liked film and stuff, and I was more in depth than other people about like why I liked a movie, but I didn't know anything about film criticism, and especially didn't know about YouTubers and shit. Well, my roommate was a male feminist. He's SJW, and he would always talk to his girlfriend, and they'd always somehow wrap it back to like, oh, Twilight's the worst thing for feminism since the sandwich and stuff. And it's like, no one applauded fucking Twilight, which every woman was buying, and 50 Shades of Grey, which women pay for. You know, they cry about the victimization and all this stuff in Twilight and 50 Shades, but women like it. Like, it's a woman fantasy to be in a triangle and to be, so like it's weird that, you know, the most like technically misogynist things, quote unquote, are written by women.
Or how about Raylo? All the feminists on Twitter, they love Raylo.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's
When
like loving
Kylo,
Harley Quinn and Joker. Like that's
it's like
abusive.
it's like Kylo's like the epitome of what they would call toxic masculinity, but then you want Ray to like open her legs for the guy. I don't get it.
It is twisted.
Yeah.
What do you guys think would save Star Wars?
I think Sith asked the same question on his stream. Why don't you go, Sith?
So what I think would save Star Wars is an episode 9 that takes real risks, not surface level risks, real risks where like maybe a switch happens and then Rey goes dark side and Kylo goes light and then it leads into a new trilogy. But they're never going to do that. I think the only way to save Star Wars is just to wrap this thing up as soon as possible and then try to fix like the image of Star Wars leading into an actual trilogy that has quality, maybe the Game of Thrones people. But I don't know, the sooner we move on from this the better, because like I'm looking at like the Mandalorian and the new Cassian Andor series and there's really not a lot of buzz around them.
Agreed. I like that big time. I mean, like I said before in the last one, I don't think there's anything they can really do to turn it around as far as in the next film. But I do agree that the sooner we get past this trilogy, and if they actually start giving a fuck in the future, then maybe it could be. I mean, if we start to get some products that are, oh, this is actually pretty good. Well, this one's all right. You know, it's not about a political point. If it's a good story, good characters, we will like that at least. And then the more of those that they have, the better of an image they'll get. And whatever trilogies they make or whatever freaking series, it might get better. But I'm also, this is good. This goes for all companies. I want to fucking stop hearing all their announcements. Like months we're gonna have the Boba Fett, we're gonna have the Obi-Wan, we're gonna have the Qui-Gon, we're gonna have the Uba the Cassian, the thing. Like, shut the no, until you have a script and then say you're going to do it or something, because I'm hating them announcing everything. That goes with DC too. When they go, we're going to have a Birds of Prey and a Cloud 985 and Marvel, we're going to have 30 movies coming after that. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to know that. I don't want to know what the titles are. I just want to. I want to just see a trailer one day and go, "Hey, look, that's coming out next summer." Instead of, 3 years ago, I heard that was going to be coming out by now. Like, I don't know. That affects it too, because you get to think about it for that long, and then you get annoyed of it before you even freaking see it. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Go ahead.
Before even like. You're right about when you're talking about like them putting out quality movies and then that reinstills faith. But even before that, they have to kind of appeal to the fans that kind of were disillusioned by the previous regime. And there has to be a regime change for Star Wars to be saved at all. So anything we say is assuming that someone who actually cares about Star Wars is at the helm for any of our solutions to even be possible.
I would agree with that. What do you think Dave Filoni's position is going to turn into?
I have a theory, but I'll let you guys talk because I've been talking a lot. So I'll go last.
Okay.
All right.
I'll let you go, Flip, since you brought it up.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Flip, go ahead.
Oh, what do I think is? I'm sorry, you turned it around on me.
Go ahead. You get the floor. So you know how it works on the Rookie Corner by now. We share it.
Fair enough. I think that he is. I think he's, in a way. I mean, if I were in his position, he's sitting pretty, if you know what I mean. And he's well liked more than anybody else at Lucasfilm. Allegedly, I guess, but. I think he instantly tried to distance himself from Resistance, which was probably a smart move, and I don't think he had 100% creative control over that. So moving from that, he's sort of in limbo, and I know he's covering things, but that he's, projects, but we don't really know about him. He might be working with Favreau on Mandalorian, and so what I'm hoping to see comes from him some more along the lines of Ahsoka, and I'm not quite sure. I mean, obviously we know that the Clone Wars final season is coming, But beyond that, I'd like to see him in Mandalorian a little bit, working with Favreau, because I think that could be a great team up, and maybe bring Ahsoka or that whole crew in somehow.
So actually, he's directing one of the episodes of The Mandalorian. I think the first one. And one of the big knocks on him helming Lucasfilm has been his lack of experience with live action. So if you want to be an optimist, you can look at that and think, okay, maybe he's taking this step, so eventually he'll helm a film, and then a few films, and then eventually he'll be like the creative head of all the films. If you want to be a super optimist, but
Yeah,
with Filoni, I definitely feel like he's going to be who they look to. I definitely know that, but I don't know if the people currently in Lucasfilm are going to obstruct that or not, if that makes sense.
yeah, he's trying to position himself, I guess, juxtapose and get alliances going in the right areas.
Yeah.
What do you think, Angus?
I don't know. It's kind of a weird position because, like, that the thick book I got in my library video, Star Wars Year to Year, it goes from like the 40s, talking about stuff that influenced Lucas, up to 2010 when Clone Wars was going into its third season. And Pablo Hidalgo, looking at the critics, he's an author for multiple like sections of this book, and I'm just like, man, that slimy slug, from him being someone that was a story guy with Lucas to being someone with Kennedy and doing Therm Scissor Punch. The dude's a snake. Yeah, they need to drain the swamp, and you need to get rid of phonies like him. And I hope Filoni isn't a phony like him, because he's done good stuff with Clone Wars, and Rebels is okay given the restraints of Disney. But we need men with balls. We need men like Colin Trevorrow. It's like, hey, I want Luke alive in 9, and that's something we don't. Something that is like hardwired into me working with you is like, I need Luke alive, and you're not going to do it, so this isn't going to work. And yeah, I think we need less cucks like Chuck Wendig and Pablo and Bruin Johnson, and we need men. It seems to be men get fired, and people like Ron Howard and Bruin Johnson get hired. And no offense to Ron Howard, because he's a good director, but
Right.
Playing it safe. You need to take risks. Rogue One was smart because they took a risk with the guy who only did 2 movies before that. And it, you say we will, but like he did well with what he was allowed to do with Lucasfilm.
For me, I think it starts with the story group, and I think World Class Bullshitters a while ago pointed out that most of the story group really aren't qualified to have the position they have when you look at their credits, and they're really only there because of Kennedy. And I think that so long as the current regime is in place, you have people like Trevorrow will continue to get fired for standing up for themselves and not falling in line with the status quo, so to speak.
I think that's a good point that you bring up there too. There's a lot that I kind of want to research about this too, honestly, with the staff that they have in the group and Kathleen Kennedy herself. I'd like it to get information without having all the clout that comes with it, I suppose, because I come from the biased view of the Phantom Menace, and maybe there was some good intention in the beginning, like all the way back with the Force Awakens, but by now it's just you're right there, bro.
Sorry,
you spilling your drink? Yeah.
No, I knocked over my spoon.
Okay, eating some cereal. It's morning for you guys.
Yeah, it's like 5, almost 6 o'clock now. I've done 2 multi-hour streams. It's been fun.
I'm sorry, bro.
No, man,
I'm fine.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It's only almost 3 a.m. for me, so it's like I'm fine.
Well, guys, I think I'm gonna knock off because I gotta get up.
Yeah, you got a job and shit. All right.
Well, something like that. Yeah.
I have a nighttime job, so I'm usually doing that. But all right, so it's been good having you, Flip. Angus is cool and dropped links in the chat for people to follow you on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah.
That was all. So
I'll follow up with Sith. I'll follow up with you, man. It was good to meet you.
You too, man. It was awesome talking to you, man.
Cool. All right, Angus. See you, Cookie.
See you, fuck.
Cookie.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, Cookie's my alternate personality on here, I suppose. I made 4 videos of the Cookie Critic just to be funny.
I'm gonna check that out.
I'm a really picky eater, and I was trying cookies and shit just because I have my own. Because I work at Subway, and I was like trying them for the first time and videotaped that, and then people liked that, so I made some more. It's like
awesome.
Yep. So we'll probably be closing out here within 10 minutes anyway. Honestly, probably close out at 3 a.m. That'll be a good 3-hour stream. It'll be over 3 hours, I think, actually.
Wow, time flew, man.
Yeah, and
it flies when you're having fun, dude. That vet stream was 4 hours, and I'm like, holy shit, it's 4 hours.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the one yesterday. I would have had us keep on going, but I had some things I had to do. It's like otherwise I would have definitely wanted to keep going. And we have another one on at 9 a.m. For Pacific, noon for you guys. And I don't know how long that's going to go. Nerdette said she wants to come on that one too with the psychology nerd after a little while. So there's going to be some more stuff to talk about. There's so much to talk about. It's like you guys are all chill and we can all, keep on going. If it was boring, like if you guys would be like, yeah, Star Wars kind of sucks. And if that was it, I'd be like, oh God, there's no conversation. But you guys always have something, and that's great. See, I'm a huge chatterbox, but I like being able to tone it down a little so that you guys can all talk. And I like hearing it. I like listening, and I get different views on Star Wars that way too.
Yeah, definitely a lot less dysfunctional than my streams because we devolve into like sheep puns and like.
Yeah. I noticed.
Yeah,
but that makes it unique. That's still fun.
Yeah. It's definitely my streams are more relaxed, more for. But I'll tell you what, man, I really enjoyed being on this stream and talking to you guys.
Yeah, I'm glad you're able to come on. This was an unplanned type of turn of events.
Yeah, 100%.
That's good, and yeah, hopefully we'll get Obi-Wan on here. I'm really hoping that we can make that work because he's got and I think he's got a lot to say. He's a heavy viewer in the community, but doesn't say too much on his channel. So that'd be cool to have him on here.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I try to control the chat. Control our conversation in a way, like not completely, but so that so that we're not completely stepping on each other, and so everyone here gets a chance to say something. Like if I haven't heard Angus in a while, I'll point it to him. If I haven't heard Flip in a while, I'll point it to him or something, from you, or like I try to get everybody their fair spotlight time. I suppose. Not trying to dictate shit, but just not wanting a full reign.
I will commend how you've been running this. You've been very organized and like on it, as opposed to me, where I just like I tell my friends I'm talking to like shut the fuck up. A fan said something.
Yeah, Seth, my suggestion, what I do every stream, whether it's Utter Chaos on my channel or Cinema Squad or Rookie Corner, I always have a notebook and a pen at hand, and that way when stuff comes up when someone else is talking, I write it down so I don't forget. And I also, if I'm hosting, I like to outline the key topics. Even if we get into fringe discussion, I like to have the topics where it's like, all right, let's focus back on the outline, just to keep it streamlined somewhat, so people are, like one problem if you watch the veteran stream, there's a part where Sketch Therapy, he like kind of rambles for about 10 minutes about like the. If we're talking about SJWs and stuff, but he like rambles for like 10 or 15 minutes about like the classism versus the racism of like Puerto Rico, where they're more about class and how they judge you as opposed to race in America. Yeah, and it's kind of a downer. So luckily we brought it back up and had fun, but
yeah, I hear you. There's some points in the World Class Bullshitters chat sometimes when he brings people on like that, where I'm kind of like, oh no, I bet he wishes he could change the subject right now, but he's trying to give the guy some time. And when there's some of the, I did hear some of the stream in the beginning, a little bit before work, and there was some dead space quite a few times in between. And I was like, "Oh no!" Yeah. that was me. I'd be like,
well, we were kind of figuring out who was talking and how the chain would go, because like it was supposed to be like revolve alphabetically, but then Jeff Ironwolf would be like, he's really excited to talk about stuff, and that was fine. Me and him were Cinema Squad, so like I'm cool with it. But yeah, and then there's like this guy in Israel who he was quiet for almost the whole stream.
Yeah, I always find that odd. Like some people go on a stream and they're just there.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad for them when they do that. But see, that's why, like on mine, I never want that to happen. It's like everybody's here, so you're all going to participate. Like you gotta. I don't care if you're ready. I don't care if you're not. I'll make you talk. And it's like I think that's the thing too. Like I used to be kind of shy-ish, like not really shy, but like I didn't want to be in front of everybody and have everybody. I don't have anything to say it's that important. But ever since my senior year, my presentation skills have improved extremely, and I don't really care what people think half the time. Like I do, but I don't. Like so, it's like you can say whatever, even if you fuck up. Like I tend to stutter sometimes, and I don't realize it, or I'll have a lisp, or my recording. I listen. I hate the way I sound. Like I'm like I sound like I feel like I sound like the white nerd that we could make fun of. But as I'm hearing myself, it sounds fine. But then later I sound like a bitch. But I'm like, well, that's how I sound, and nobody else seems to notice. So, okay.
I think all of us who post things on YouTube is self-conscious to a point.
Yeah, too.
Otherwise, we really wouldn't care about like sharing our opinions, I think.
Yeah, well put. And I think I don't know. The more you do it too, I mean, the less there is to worry about. Like on my skit, look at my skits. Look at any of my skits that I do. I am a fool. But it's like, I mean, people have done sillier things, and I'm doing what I can with what I got. So, I mean,
you're doing a great job, man.
Maybe it gets a laugh, maybe it doesn't. Try again. Yeah. So, you guys want to plug anything or any other channels you want to plug or say something real quick before we close out?
Angus, you can go first.
Well, yeah. For if you're interested in film philosophy in the NFL, come by to Black Angus Reviews. I'm part of the Cinema Squad with Rookie Critic, and I do Utter Chaos as well, which is kind of like the Rookie Corner. I just don't have enough as much time or involvement finding smaller YouTubers like Rookie has found a knack at, which is fun because I still like interacting with them and stuff like Sith Crotoni, and I never expected to interact with this guy so soon, but it's fun.
Awesome.
But besides myself, I would like to go on Twitter. It's on my page. I share it. Kitty Glitter is the author of these horrible fan fictions, and it's purposely horrible. I found them from a human centipede fanfic. It's about cats and shit, and this cat doctor. It's retarded, and the guy writes purposely as dumb as he can. Tries to just write it as fast as he can and dumb as he can at once. And he's been attacked by SJWs on Amazon. He's had his stuff pulled from Amazon and blocked multiple times because he made a Cuck Wendig story called Soylence of the Lambs. And the dude is hilarious. And I've talked to him a little bit. I want to get him on Utter Chaos. He found out I like Meg Myers because I said something like a line from one of her songs in response. He's like, "Oh wow, you know Meg Myers," and then he knows I love Darth Maul. He's writing Meg Myers versus Darth Maul prequel to Episode 1.
That's sick. That's awesome.
That's pretty tight. It's pretty tight, man. All right, Sith, you got anything you want to plug?
So yeah, sure. You can follow me on Twitter. The link's in the chat at SithCryptoYT. You can check out my YouTube channel if you like, if you haven't already. Thank you to everybody who subscribed to it today on the stream. I appreciate it. And I have a video I put out, I think a couple days ago, basically talking about the new series announced on the Disney streaming service. If you want to check that out, I'd appreciate it. And if you like it, feel free to subscribe. And I want to say thank you to you guys because I genuinely had a blast. You guys are really fun to talk to, so I appreciate that. And you guys are always welcome on my channel. And if you ever need me back here, just say the word, And yeah, thank you.
Well, hey Sith, I'll tell you this. I've been following. I don't know how long you've been in the Fandom Menace or anything, but I've been following bullshitters since they did the Last Jedi spoiler video. And they're like, we don't know if any of this is true, but it sounds like Disney. And then the next day they saw it and they're like, it's all true. So they were at 12,000 subs then, and now they have jumped to 75,000. Of course, they've kind of stagnated the last few months with the subscription, but there's kind of a mystique where it's like I've been following these guys for a year and I identify with them. They represent my ideas, and now they've gotten to the big leagues. He's done the Comicsgate comic and stuff. And so there's a little bit of nerve with that. But, dude, honestly, if having just done it a couple hours ago, if you can talk with us like this, There's nothing stopping you from being able to do it with like someone like Jeff Hicks, or I don't know about Jeremy because he's kind of a high-wired Southerner. I'm from Oklahoma, so I'm like in the center, not the south. But yeah, I'm sure with EVS2 it'd be a blast and it'd go pretty smoothly after you get the butterflies out of you. So yeah, just keep your confidence up, dude. You're at 100 subs. I thank you to whoever was newest subbed me at 140. I never thought I'd be this high already this fast. But I thank Critic for letting me be a part of his streams all the time.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no problem, man. I like it too because you know, with this seriously, like we are seeing us all grow as we speak. Like literally, I don't remember how many subs I had when I met you, Angus, and you had like what 60 subs when I met you, or less.
Yeah, I was at like 60 or 70. I
And-
was just coming up, and then we started doing Cinema Squad, and it's like, wow, this is really picking up.
Yeah, and well, it's like you find people on Twitter. Angus is great at using Twitter. I haven't used it all that much, but he's finding other people. He found a channel, the Media League, and he does a really nice video too on the Fox and Disney deal, and it's a good one. We had him on a stream on Angus's channel, and see, like, and that like you don't have to have it all on mine. I mean, I like sharing it too, like, you know, go on somebody else's sometimes because that way I don't have to have my own setup. And we can all still do it, and it lets your guys' channel prosper, and we all get subs. I mean, the more people we meet and have on, the more our own followers will interact with each other and find the new people that are on the stream or the new people that are in the chat, and you know, get to find new content creators, and you know, some people that have great videos that are surprisingly have like 3 subs, and it's like, what the? You can get that up, you know?
Yeah.
Like. There's this guy, Random Nerd, and he was on one of Doomcock's streams. And sometimes when I'm listening to the streams and the live chat, I'll click on people's channels, and if their name grabs me or their image or something or what they're saying is kind of good, and I'll check them out. And he had a couple of videos up. He's only made like less than 10 videos, and he had 3 subscribers. And one of them was about how he thinks that Star Wars and Star Trek could be in the same universe. And that was a pretty well done video. I mean, the audio was the main issue, honestly. He had music playing way louder than his voice. But other than that, it was really well done. And he only had 3 subs. So I was his 4th sub. And I'm like, dude, I got to try to get you on here so that I can get, our people to see him and get his subs up to at least 10. I think we can get him up to 20. And then that'll get more views when he posts more videos and more people will notice. And boom, 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 people are growing. He might even have subs that we don't have that find us and get us more subs. I mean, it's the chain effect.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
so
it's like
the next
Doomcock is starting to pick up in the fandom minutes, which is like, how is he only at like 10,000? He's right on point with, and he's doing Star Trek instead of Star Wars. That's his main thing. So, it's like he's coming up though.
He does a great job the way he does his channel so far, where he spends some time talking about the main topic, spends some time with the super chats, and then the main chat. Like, that's perfect. Like, if more big channels did it that way, I think people would like them more. And this way, I mean, he still gives the little guy some attention.
Yeah, 100%. I just subscribed to Random Nerd. I'm his 5th subscriber.
All right, perfect. See, he's going to be getting up. I'm going to try to get – I like getting people more subs too, not just me. Like, even if we were to get, like, let's say Doomcock on here, I wouldn't expect him to tell everyone to come and see our stream. I would just be glad that he's on here, I mean, of course, I'd like that, him to spread it around. But it's like, just having the people on is what is good. And so our next goal, my goal is to have 280 subscribers by the end of the year. I want Angus to be at least 150, but you should be at 200 by the end of the year. And Kryptonian, you got to make that 150 mark.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. I'm down to work with you guys and like keep bringing up other people with us. I like your idea of like a rising tide can flow all our boats.
Yeah,
the fandom menace phase 2.
Yeah, exactly, I'm down, man. I'm in.
Check out the Lone Wolf Cub in the chat too. He's got a great long, he does a lot of research into his videos and tells you a lot of things that most reviewers don't like to mention. Like on the monthly, he goes really deep into the whole lore, and it goes into other countries with a lot of the stuff. So it's pretty good it's very different than what you normally see.
Yeah, I just subbed to him right now.
Well, they're perfect. So yeah, this is what we want. Yes, and he started out with more subs, and I skyrocketed past a little bit, but I want him to get more light, and that's why bringing him on these streams. So I didn't bring him on tonight just because we were all talking pretty well, like to where like there was not much dead space. So I was like, okay, if we have a fifth one in here, this is gonna be trouble. So for either tomorrow, maybe on Tuesday's stream, if he's up, for our 7 a.m. one. I might bring him on that one with us to talk, but I don't know what he's doing. 7 a.m. here, it'd be somewhere in the afternoon for him. So we'll see. We'll see about that, Cub. And same with Tariel. If she wants to come on, I want to tell her how to live stream with us so that she can join us because I want to hear her stuff.
Yeah.
All right, that's
for sure, man.
See, I said to close out that we're going to close out like a half hour ago. This always fucking happens. Or just keep on talking. No, I guess you have a freaking chatterbox.
That's a good sign, though. That's a good sign. It means that we're in the conversation. We're in the moment. It's not dragging, and we're clicking. So that's always a good sign.
Yeah, I agree. And like, fuck, like I keep on wanting to. Now I'm thinking of all the YouTubers I've met, like Princess Iruka. She has a YouTube channel with like no content yet, but has all these ideas. She wants to voice act. She likes anime and stuff. She wants to talk about those and drawings. I mean, like she could have good content at some point. And I want to make sure that before she even gets there, she's got 10 subs to, just to kick off and then keep going. And then she might, she'll be another creator out there. That's a small creator with good content. There's Obi-Wan Reviews. I think he's figuring out what he wants to do. I think he's more of a viewer than a content creator. He has some drink reviews and some game reviews and stuff where he has some, he's playing games while chit-chatting about stuff. So, I mean, I think he's figuring out what he wants. I mean, even on my freaking thing, I've done a whole bunch of random shit since I've come back, and like with pictures, with like non-scripted videos, with scripted videos, everything. I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what this kind of reminds me of? I don't know if you guys know who Tony Hinchcliffe is.
No,
he's a comedian, and he has a podcast basically where he gets like relatively unknown or upcoming comedians, and he like gives them like 5 minutes to do a set on his podcast, and it's like a platform to like give them exposure. I think that's something that's missing in the YouTube community, especially in like the fandom menace, where it's all about like the only time you see someone on their show is if they're of a certain notoriety.
Yeah, I kind of agree. What do you think? I know you have something to say about that, Angus.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
He's saying how in the YouTube community there's not as much notoriety, or like the people that they get more notoriety have like a big following already.
No, it's more what I was trying to say is like what's missing in the community is people reaching down and like giving people with less subs like a platform. It's all about like hitting. If someone has like a certain amount of clout at the time, then all of a sudden you'll start seeing them on like the high council or something like that. But it's rare you see that they plug someone with like 500 subs or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like you're kind of filling that void.
Yeah, I don't really have a thought on that though. Unfortunately, I'm just kind of blank on that.
See, go ahead. If you had more.
Oh, I was just going to say that I don't know, this is how we can beat the YouTube system, and we can beat out Nerdist and IGN and all these shill videos, is by rallying together around each other as content creators and flooding the market with our side of things and the fandom menace. Because a lot of people on the outside, they just think like, they just hear what the shill media puts out, like, oh, Kelly Marie Tran is attacked by white supremacist Star Wars fans. It's like, Star Wars is inherently made for everyone across the world. Like, there's no white supremacy in Star Wars. There may be white supremacists who like Star Wars. It's like America. We're not a Christian nation. We're a nation that was founded by some Christian people who didn't institutionalize anything. Like, there's no set, what makes you a Star Wars fan. It's the product, not the people.
Yeah, and this way they can't say that it's like, oh, it's just world-class bullshitters, EVS, and Geeks and Gamers, like just these three that are like mind controlling people. If we can bring other people up, and then give them a platform, then all of a sudden they can't point to any one person. They could see that we're all pretty diverse. Like, it's not just one alt-right group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, going on that too. I mean, I'm reaching everybody from around the world. I mean, that's what's kind of surprised me the most was how the Lone Wolf Cub is in Germany. Alex Lathis, who is just in the chat right now, just waking up. What's up, sleepyhead? We're just about to close out soon. We're supposed to, but who knows how long? Who knows anymore? But like, he's in Britain. The Obi-Wan Reviews is in Australia with a 16-hour time difference. You guys are in the East. Erica is on the West with me, but in a different state. And it's like, I'm pretty sure that the more we do this, we're going to reach other people from other places. And that's something that caught me by surprise.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, so especially when they say it's American stuff, it's like with politics, it's like, dude, half these people don't even live here. Like, what?
Yeah.
From all around the world.
Yeah. Plus, we all seem to get along really well. So why wouldn't we collaborate with each other and like help each other out too?
I don't know.
It's kind of like a no-brainer for me.
The main roadblock I saw from some people, especially with the smaller channels, that they didn't know how to live stream, which I didn't know either. But I mean, I've been trying to describe how to live stream to everybody that I asked. Like,
why don't you do a how-to video and then you could just link them that?
Yeah, I want to do that too. But I mean, sometimes sometimes it's different for everybody, I suppose, and they want to have it put in a certain way. So like, I have to describe it differently. I don't know, but I'll probably do that too, just for heck's sake, I suppose. But yeah, learning how to do it. Once you know how to do it, it's easy, and it's like, okay, now you can do this, you can do that, and you can do all these features.
Oh, yeah. I remember I used to look at YouTubers. I'm like, man, they probably need this, and this, and then when I open my YouTube account, I'm just like, oh, it's already built in. You literally just click go live.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was going to be more complicated, extremely. Well, at first it sounds like it, because when I was telling people how to do a live stream on a computer, I'm like, well, you have to set up a microphone, you got to get headphones, you got to be on Google Chrome, and you got to get people's links. And well, at first I thought you needed just the emails. So I thought you need to get people's emails, and I was like, this is a lot of chores. But yeah, thank you for telling me about the link thing, by the way. That makes it a lot easier, so I don't have to have everybody's email and have an archive of emails. I can just send out a link if I have them on Twitter or some shit. It's
100%. Yeah,
it's so much more less clutter. I hate clutter.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Alex Lathis is agreeing with us in the chat with it. And my cat's on my table, by the way. She likes to pop in whenever I'm streaming and rub against the mic and be annoying.
Yeah.
You see what Alex Lathis said?
What did he say?
He said, I don't watch Geeks and Gamers anymore. He rapidly sounded more and more rabid and repetitive in his vids. I think he has a tinfoil lining to his baseball cap.
He is super repetitive.
Alex, be careful. There's Jeremy's in the chat. Ixnay on the Jeremy A.
What are they going to do? Throw zingers at us?
Well, yeah, that was Stony McInternet douche that had the zingers, but he clocked out a while.
Oh, sorry. I keep confusing him with Hallmark Luke or Hallmark Jeremy.
See, you almost did it too.
Yeah.
You should rename it to Mark Hamill Jeremy or something, because that sounds cooler, or Merc Hamill or some shit.
Say Merc Hamill forever.
Merc Hamill, yes. That would work. But
so yeah, so Tuesday, I'll be back on here.
Yep, Tuesday, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern time.
So if anybody wants to come watch again, if you're crazy enough to want to hear from me again, you can. I'll be back here on Tuesday.
Definitely. And see, goddamn it, see, like Alex is in here now, and it's like I'd love to have him in here because he's got 8-hour time difference. But
dude, bring him in. I don't know about you guys, but I can stay a bit longer.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I've been up for a while, so I'm gonna drop out now. It's been great talking to you, Sith, and thank you for having me back on, Ricky. I'm glad I could be here for most of the stream.
Yep, for the one for the one in a couple.
Talk to you later.
If you come in late, that's okay. For the one in a couple hours.
Cool. Well, I'll see you then.
All right.
It's nice to meet you, Angus.
Yep. Night, dude. All right. Hold on. So what does he say? He said, well, here, Alex, let me know in the chat if you want to come in here for a little bit. We're only going to stream for a little bit longer if you're up for it.
We got a little bit more in us.
Like maybe at least 15 or 20 minutes or so. So, yeah. Alex, if you want to come in, let me know, and I'll drop you a link real quick, and you can tell us some stuff if you want. Yeah, so All right, down to 2. So
Yeah, man. I mean, it's really cool. Angus and Flip were really cool to chat with. I was pretty surprised. Not surprised that you'd hang out with cool people, but like surprised how well like I clicked with them, and you too as well.
Yep, I agree, man. I think if you bring your friends in sometime, I can get them in line. Maybe we can see.
Good luck with that, my friend.
Maybe one at a time.
Yeah.
To see how we can tame it or some shit. It seems like it seems like they think of a funny joke and they can't restrain it, and then they have to say it, and then while somebody else is talking, it messes up the audio, and then it's like, well, who's saying what? And
we get pretty nutty. I love those guys.
I gotcha. No, he said he needs to recover from a shower. So, okay. Well, if he's not coming on here, then yeah, I guess we still go for a few more minutes. I was gonna say too. So, with some of your YouTube friends, yeah, I mean, I really wouldn't mind having some of those guys on here. A few of them.
Well, the ones you talk to,
even if they don't have YouTube, but I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think Sin might be making YouTube videos, but the other ones have been making YouTubes. One of them has a podcast, the Salty Nerd Podcast. You guys should check it out. It's a good podcast. When you chat with me on my streams.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll check that one out too. But there's so many things I need to check out. This is a problem that I'm realizing though. Is like the more channels I discover, the more content I'm supposed to watch. It's like I'm really trying to find time, but it's like between school, work, making my own videos, and I'm trying to give every channel like some stuff here. But sometimes I can only watch one video here and then another video like a week later. I don't know.
Well, you can't overload yourself, and I think you just giving them like time on your channels is it's kind of enough. You know, they can't expect you to become like their #1 fan all of a sudden too.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, and honestly, I'd rather, see a video or two of theirs and then just, be able to have them on here sometimes. Like with you, this was totally unexpected. Like I thought I wasn't going to talk to you on here until Tuesday, but this is our second interaction. It's like by Tuesday, it won't even really be like the style of my rookie corner where I, usually I just go, hey, so tell us about your channel and what are your goals for the future, and then let's shoot the shit, pretty much. But I try to keep it somewhat on stuff that you want to talk about, and we just start talking about whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, 100%, man.
And since you're now I can count you as a regular, even though this is your first time on my channel and whatnot. But you're good with the flow and conversation. I can bring other people in on here too if you want. I know that Cub would probably want to, for sure.
Yeah, however you want to do it, man. I'm totally down.
All right, that sounds good. And at some point, I do want to try to get more people like in here at once, like 5 or 6. But I really think that 4 is like the best number with multiple people. What do you think?
4 is like that sweet spot where people can still like, where if somebody talks over another person, it's just like one of the 4 doing that, and then immediately they'll stop. Like there's a lot of times where we caught ourselves like when we would interrupt each other, but when you get to 6 or 7, you could have 3 people jumping in at once, and it just gets.
That's what I think. Well, and it's like everybody wants to say something on the topic, and once somebody says something, and then when there's 6 other people that that gets a little too much.
And you're gonna have at least one person when there's that much people. You can have one person who feels like they didn't get enough time to talk.
Yeah, which I never want to have that feeling, which is why I would consider bringing people on as we go sometimes, so that, the one that was already on, you had enough time to do some good conversation, and you could still be here and chime in, but I mean, give them some room too, for the most part. So that's kind of how I would want to do it, but I don't know.
4 is the sweet spot.
I agree. I mean, especially if we do like 4-hour live streams. I mean, some people will drop in and out, I would think, or some will be late, some will be early, some will be, here and there, can only stay for a little bit, or 3 hours into the stream, they could come in for the last hour or something. I think would work out pretty well. I'm trying to, because I think just having like 3 people on, I'm like, God, I want to talk to all these people. Yeah. But you can't just stream all day unless you can make money on it. I would say, but until then,
yeah, you just gotta balance.
You cut out for a sec. What was that?
Oh, you just gotta find the right with any. Hello.
Yeah, you cut out for a second. You said with any.
Oh, with anything, just like with anything, you got to find the right balance.
Yep, I agree. So, you know what's funny? The last half an hour, we've just been talking about channels and stuff, and we still have 10 viewers.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we haven't really been talking about anything. Is there any topic you want to close out on, like to mention real quick? Or
I noticed you liked my tweet about the UFC. Are you into that or anything like that?
No, honestly, I just thought that GIF looked kind of cool.
Oh, it was the
1 second left and he gets a hit. I was like,
dude.
oh,
It was like he was losing the fight, but it was like a epic fight back and forth for like 5 rounds, minus 1 second, and in the last second, he ducks his head and then he just chicken wings an elbow upward, and he knocks out the guy who was winning the fight with 1 second left. It was
crazy.
It was so trippy.
Damn.
Yeah.
How about luck? Damn.
Yeah, man.
That's fucking tight. That's good. But yeah, I'm more of a basketball guy when it comes to sports, I suppose, but I haven't really paid attention to basketball in the last 2 years.
I used to be super into it, and then as you get older and you have more stuff on your plate, you just learn that all you really need to watch is the playoffs.
Pretty much, especially in the playoffs, I'll be more inclined to look at the scores during the games a little bit. But I mean, I won't really be watching it engaged.
Yeah.
But because I can't really sit and just watch the game for that long unless I'm really like, I want to be at a point where I don't like where of course I'll still work, but I mean I don't need to work as much, so I can still do school and do this for a while. I mean, I want to be in film at some point, but this is literally being on YouTube is part of me learning how to do film because I'm not going to school for film and learning quite a bit.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do in film?
Direct, or at least at the very least script write, write scripts. But direct would be the main goal, I would say, to make an actual movie. But
you know what, man? If there's ever any project you need someone to do something in, I'm totally down to try. I've always wanted to try that, like acting and stuff and voice acting.
Yeah, well, I'll take you up on that because I'm
not promising. I'm not promising I'll be any good. I'll probably suck, but I'm down to do it.
I don't expect anyone to be good.
Okay, all right.
If that means anything, even if they're good, I don't expect them to be good for me or for anything. So I'm doing a skit trilogy called The Rookie's Test. And it's just basically me and my characters that I made that are also played by me and interacting and shit, like my future Jeff, which I call TJ for some reason. I don't know why I picked TJ. And he's training me how to use energy because I have special effects from Production Crate that I use, and I learned how to move it with animations on my video editor, so I can kind of make those look like Dragon Ball stuff a little bit, like slightly, not like impressive, but like, oh, okay, that's all right. And I have like putty patrollers from like Power Rangers. I have a gray shirt and a black thing and some gray gloves I found and a ski mask and red glasses. And I go,
that's fun, man. That sounds fun.
I dub that over it. And one of the things I wanted to have as a bonus, like just as a bonus on top of the skit, was to have YouTubers that I've met since I came back and interacted with, and have them have little cameos in it, like Jeff the Iron Wolf, Angus, Flipped Out. You can be in it, of course. Alex Lathis, Cub, Nerdet's Newsstand, everything Star Wars. Like there's a lot. I listed down 10 people. Doomcock even said he might read 4 lines.
Oh, that'd be epic.
And there's one whole scene that kind of relies on him saying those 4 lines because future Jeff goes back to the future, and there's a certain overlord in the future.
I got you.
Yep.
That's awesome, man.
That'd be freaking tight. But yeah, the involvements from people aren't that big. Princess Aruka actually would have the biggest part because she said she wants to be a voice actress. So if I want her to do some lines, and I would dub that over one of my characters.
Awesome.
I call them nega reviewers.
Yeah, I definitely would want to start small because I don't have any experience,
Yep, it would mostly just be I'll be in the final fight of it, I suppose, and I'm like, oh, I'm about to lose, and like, oh, you're all alone, and I'm like, oh, am I really alone? And then I probably have like Lone Wolf Cub or Alex say something inspirational or some shit, and then I'm like, oh, well, okay, and then I stand up, and if you watch Dragon Ball Z, the Spirit Bomb
Yeah.
Yeah, I started collecting energy from YouTubers, and you guys, like doing whatever you're doing, filming yourself, do whatever you're doing, or if you want your icon, I can do that too. Then they're like, oh, what is that? Rookie Critic needs my help. I'll help you, buddy. And, put your hand up to give it, or if you have a silly skit in mind, you could be doing something like eating cereal and spill that shit, and then I'll help you or something. I don't know. Flipped out, did a funny one, and Obi-Wan Reviews actually was the first one to respond to that and got me his. So
awesome, man. If you wanna just send me in the DMs like the description and like everything I'll need, and then I'll see what I can put together.
Yep, I'll send you one. But I mean, for the most part, for the dialogue, I mean, I give what I would think that you would say, but honestly,
perfect.
you can make it your own, because I don't want to tell you what to say for anybody. It's like, no, I want you to represent yourself on how it is.
Oh.
These are the basic lines, but just say something around that, make that yours.
Awesome, man. Keep it nice, and it's nice and simple, so that's cool.
Yep, and throughout all that, we still have nine people watching, and it's like,
wow.
By this point, I'm testing how people are listening. It's like, dude, if that was me, I'd be getting kind of bored, because I think I sound tired. I think I sound.
Hey, Rookie, remember when we illegally jumped the border into the country and then we murdered those people?
Oh yeah, definitely. That was a good time. Yeah, got some tacos after.
And then Flip's aliens came down and then impregnated us.
Yep, got some babies, shat them out. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. My cat's meowing and being annoying. So yeah, I'm gonna close it out here, guys. Thanks for stopping by. This was fun.
Thank you, everyone.
See you later, Tariel. See you, Cub. See you, Alex. See you. Mark. Or I was gonna say Mark Hamill, Jeremy again. God damn it, Hallmark Channel, Jeremy. If Cotton Candy here, Jeremy's still in here. The other people. We're having another stream in a couple hours, really, like at 9 a.m. Pacific and noon Eastern. So have a good one, guys.